Hey gang, welcome. This is our third one for the year. Actually, okay, I'm putting '03s now for the actual year itself. So welcome. This is welcome to Dom 6 week. This is the week that Dominion 6 launched. It's funny because there's a lot of other games that are also launched around this time. A lot of games launching over the next couple of weeks as well. So a lot coming up. In fact, if we stretch it out to 3 weeks, no, maybe 4 weeks. Next 4 weeks, we've got some big stuff coming. So we'll sort of do countdowns to some of those as well. But anyway, welcome. Hope everyone's been having a great week. So hi Mike there. Saw Mike was in there early, and then hi Battle Mode. How you going? And CB, Sorbicol, Michael, Bob Rupert, Dummerson, Louis, Beer and Games. Hope everyone's doing well. Now. I mean, really, the big thing is Dominion 6, but we do have other things to talk about as well. But let's start with Dominion 6. I'd love to say I've got 20 keys to give away at the end for the marble run, but I don't. I don't have. I do have. Do I have a game? I have to. I'm not prepared. I think I've got a game, but I'm not 100% sure. I'll say no at this stage, and then we'll come back in. I'll have a look at what I do actually have listed, and we'll go from there. Hi Chris and Dave. I hope everyone's doing very well. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's coming out this week. It's sort of been. It's funny actually. This is Australia Day week as well. So on Friday it's Australia Day, which is sort of like the, I guess it's like Thanksgiving Day for Americans and things like that. So it's a national holiday here in Australia. Quite contentious. So it's one of those sort of days where there's people who I don't think anyone disagrees with the day, just the date. And so it's quite a contentious date, but anyway, it is what it is, and it's yeah. So it's one of those sort of funny days. Everyone I know just seems to have a great old day. Like it's a good day. People tend to have a lot of barbecues, and so it's very much I think like Thanksgiving. Although Thanksgiving I think is more traditional, like Christmas, I guess. Whereas Australia Day is more like going down and play some cricket on the beach or do something like that. I think because I'm sort of because I'm connected with the surf club, like you tend to see so many more people come down and actually they drink early, they get drunk, and then they basically are having barbecues all up and down the beach, and then they're doing stuff on the beach. It's a fun day anyway. It's good. Bob's saying instead of a turkey, do you roast a roux? you do just sausages. That's all that people sort of cook. It's that's the I don't know if that's the same everywhere else, but Australia, if you go anywhere, the actual it should almost be the national food. Just sausage in a piece of bread, like a piece of bread with with a sausage in it. Just a there's different the standard ones. What are they called? I don't even know what's inside them. They're just they're pretty shitty, to be honest. It's funny because my wife's German, and her parents are German, and so when we eat sausages, like because we now eat really nice German style sausages, and actually the best one we've come across is I know we're not playing it. I know we're not talking about Dominions here, but the best ones are these blueberry sausages, believe it or not, which are so nice. We love it, absolutely love it. It's blueberry, and I don't know what else is in it. Like I don't know what the meat is, but anyway, they're great sausages. So we have them about once a week, I guess. But yeah, everyone else just eats these really cheap, crappy sort of sausages. Some of the butchers sell pre-war sausages, which are quite nice. They're a bit thicker and a bit more wholesome than the sawdust ones that you get from the supermarket. But anyway. But it is actually good. Anyway, that's that's coming up on Friday. Friday is Australia Day. So as I say, it's a bit of a contentious day. But I don't know anyone who is anti it, but certainly the mainstream media is can find a million people that are. They and look, it is a contentious date, but not the. I don't think the day. I think everyone's happy to have an Australia Day. But just that's the date that the first fleet arrived at Australia, and so the first fleet sort of bringing the convicts, and that was the actual day that they got off the boats in Sydney Cove. So anyway, that's sort of where we are. Right, let's get into it. The actual gaming side of things. So hi Voxtra and Rogue. I think I said hi to Chris before. Dimson's saying I heard kangaroo isn't the best meat. So I heard a lot of people like it. I don't like any of that sort of stuff, to be honest. Give me moose any day, says Dimmerson. It's a very lean meat, kangaroo meat. It's one of those things where like they use it for pet food a lot. Like so, it's mainly used for pet food because the kangaroos. No one likes to think about it, but kangaroos can be a bit of a pest, and so they do cull them at different times, but they don't ever say that's what actually is happening. But that's sort of where they are. Bob's saying, yeah, nothing like a good German or Polish sausages. Yes, I agree. I haven't had Polish, but just the different German ones. You know, it's just funny though. This white one, what's it called? I forget what the white ones are called. The Germans. I don't like them, but I like all the Kranskis or whatever they are, like the bratwurst sausages. Is it? Yeah. Anyway, I forget what the white ones are called. They begin W, something anyway. And actually, Chris is saying, when I lived in South Africa, we ate ostrich. I thought you were going to say that you ate boerwurst, and I think, oh, that's nice. That's a really nice sausage. If you're from South Africa, we've got a South African friend, and so whenever we get together and have a barbecue, we cook up boerwurst with Mrs. Ball's chutney. I forget what else it's called. Beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's it's incredible. The now Michael's saying, will you do a Dom 6 crash course in one video like you did in Dom 5? I have been preparing for that. I'm actually hoping to record that today, and I've done it a few different ways. I'm not just going to do one. I'm going to do Ulm, and I'm going to do Ulm with a three-tusked boar. Sorry, not bear. I'm going to do Ermor with a Dracolic, and I want to do a third one. And this is all just middle age at this stage. I wanted, because you can play. I did a test Ermor actually just a few hours ago. I woke up really, really early, and I thought, I'll just see how I go with Ermor. And I got through and basically won the game in about half an hour. So that's a good timing to actually sort of do it. So Ermor is really, really cool to do that with. So Weisswurst. It wasn't Bratwurst. Yeah, I think it might be Weisswurst. It's a really boring meat. Ostrich is a combination of beef and chicken. Yeah, it's sort of funny. Most animals that you eat that aren't like particularly reptilian or something like that, or avian, do tend to taste like chicken. I know that snake tastes like chicken. I've eaten a bit of snake, which isn't good. So Weisswurst is, I don't like the boiled ones. Yeah. Anyway, it's there we go. Biltong. Biltong is that's not sausage though, but whereas the boerwurst or whatever it's called is really, really nice. It's funny because I always cooked it wrong, and then this friend of ours actually told us that you're supposed to let it cook inside its own juices, and it's really, really nice. So yeah, we really enjoy that. And there's this I don't know if it's from South Africa, but there's this chutney called Mrs. Ball's chutney. It's really bloody good. I end up having that on everything now. Like it's hard to get. It's in most of the supermarkets that they say that it is, but it's actually not around. I don't know if you guys have got that in different countries as well. But Mrs. Ball's something chutney. I forget what it's like, old recipe chutney or something like that. It's very, very cool. Anyway, so Chris is saying, have you played Stellaris Nexus yet? I haven't, no. I have got it there on my little list. There it is, on my try list, and other things are coming in on top of it. So it's sort of one of these things where I just haven't got to it. I've got all these other things that keep on popping up, and it's I really should put some time into it. I just haven't had time this week. I've been playing a few other little things this week, but it's other than just Dominions, believe it or not. I mean, I've only been really recording Dominions, or I've only been presenting Dominions this week, but I have been doing other things as well. South Africa, there we go, says Battle Mode. Okay, so yeah, Battle Mode saying middle-aged Ermor will be interesting. Probably not my first choice for a beginner video, but hell, it'll get people excited for the game. Look, that's actually, like in terms of doing a rush video, like a rush build, Ermor is super, super easy, actually. It's funny. It's sort of, as I say, I literally did it in about half an hour, and not even rushing, like it was just basically bang, 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 all the way through, and then just, and it was very simple to basically then follow it up with an army that could besiege the fortress, and it it was really cool, a really cool way to do it. And so yeah, sort of I did save the Pretender. I did lose the Pretender before I could besiege, and that was actually a big mistake because I lost the final siege, so I didn't get to win the final battle, but I did actually get to play out the final battle. And yeah, it was very cool, I got to say. I did enjoy that a lot. And it's also just doing that gave me a few other clues as to what to do, because Ermor can't preach the teaching, like, you know, preach. They can't actually do the preaching, and that's actually a real big deal actually for Ermor. I don't know if they could in 5. I'm not sure if they could, or if that's just in 6 that's changed. I thought they could preach the teachings of their God in 5. Should we have a quick look just see if they can? Let's have a quick look and see in 5 if they can do that, because that was actually something I found really, like, I just expected, okay, I'm going to be able to go and half dom kill the enemy, and then just basically go in and besiege it, dom kill it, and then be done with it. And yeah, undead cannot preach. Okay, so you can and that's always been the way. I don't remember that being the case in Dom 5, but I don't really ever play Ermor much. Just get a random map, just try it and see. Test. And if we go to Ermor, I'll just have a quick look and see if it's funny because they're all in different positions. So I'm used to now the new way of doing things. Because it doesn't say in here, and I looked in the description, thought, oh, that'll be what's there. Yeah. Let's just click on OK, and doesn't matter what we do there. Yes. Okay. Oh yes. No, it won't. It won't. It should be okay. Let's have a quick look in Dom 5 and have a quick look and see if we can do this, because that was there was something that I rushed down all these different priests, all these really high level priests to go and dom kill the enemy. Just, and again, all very quick to do it, but it didn't work. So yes, this is saying some undead should be able to preach, but maybe Ermor is special. I don't know. It'd be funny actually. It'd be funny to well, actually, I think only Ermor gets all of those special priests anyway. That the undead priests. So and I should have actually had a look to see. Like if we just go into here, cast ritual spell, and just get ourselves a bishop. Oh, not enough magic gems. Damn it. All right, let's just end our turn. Okay, we're now got 20 in the God. It's funny when you go back to Dom 5. It's like really clunky. It's really not pleasant to play in comparison. So if we go into cast ritual spell, now we'll get the bishop. End our turn. All right, so in this case we have man-hate. No, they can't. Okay, so they can't do it either. Interesting. So I wonder if it does tell you. Priest level 2. It doesn't actually give you any detail. It's interesting. So they're really only there as a just to sort of support. Fascinating. Okay, there we go. Hi Bruce, how you going? Thanks for that. Saying love your videos. Yeah, excellent. Thanks for that one. So Asphodel cannot preach. Ermor will be the same, says Battlemate. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, okay. Well, it's the same in Dom 5. There we go. Confirmed. So that's the deal. But anyway, Dom 6 week has hit this week. It's one thing I found funny as well. Like I was looking at just before I started recording. Actually, just literally started looking at this one through here, which this is the Steam charts basically. To have a look and see how it's actually going. It's got a very good rating. I've got to say, 84% of the ratings have been positive, which is good for such a detailed strategy game. Although, actually, when you think about it, the The ratings for Dwarf Fortress, I think Dwarf Fortress also sort of started extremely high from everyone who loves the game, and then dwindled off. I think. I mean, they're still very high, and I think Dominions will stay high as well. It's just funny. You look at other games like, for example, Distant Worlds 2, where again a lot of people really looking forward to the game, but it started off with very poor ratings. So your battlemate's saying Emma being able to preach would be horrendous. Yeah, pop kill would be really yeah, it would be. It makes perfect sense that it doesn't. Absolutely perfect sense. I just thought, in Dom 6 they must have corrected that. Like I thought, because I thought it was a thing in Dom 5. So I want to check something like a Dust Priest can. Okay. Well, can we tell? Because the other big news we'll come back to this. Even bigger news than Dominion 6 is the Dom 6 the Dom 6 Inspector. So Lars GitHub.io Dom 6 Inspector. If you're playing the game on a computer, not if you're playing the game in your mind, but if you're playing the game actually on a computer, have this open as well. If you're only playing it in your head, you can't do this. But if any other way, well, actually, you could even still have. Anyway, I won't keep on. I won't flog a dead horse any longer. So if we go to now, I don't know if it'll tell us because this often gives you a lot of really good information. If we go and play, or not play, but if we go and set up Ermor. See, this is good. This is cool as well. Let's put it in the right order. So let's put it in the new order for Dominion 6. Just little things are cool. Now we've got the units. We're just going to go to, if we go to summoned units, and these are the priest levels. Wailing Lady. Sacred, Undead. Yeah, it's not actually really telling us much, is it? The Acolyte, there's the Bishop we tried to bring in. The it doesn't say about the actual about the not being able to preach. I'm not sure where that's mentioned. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But anyway, the Dom 6 Inspector is now available. It came out yesterday or the day before. So incredible resource. Such a great resource. If you're attacking into an area and you see the descriptions and it says some weird sort of thing, like if we just go back to all units and go, because this will also include the ones that you can then go and get from the independents. There was one called Eki something. I forget what it was called. Anyway, I wasn't sure. I thought it was going to be really powerful. I can't think what it maybe Ep. Yeah, no, not seeing it there. Anyway, there's if you just search them, you'll be able to then get the information about the actual units that are available, and from there you'll be able to sort of see what the stats are, which is actually cool because you can then sort of plan your attack accordingly, which is really cool as well. It's such a nice little way of detailing the actual units. It's done incredibly well. So anyway, that's the Dom 6 Inspector. I wanted to do a video on that actually because it really is incredible. All right, so saying thematically, I guess it makes sense. If someone was going to convince you that a death cult is a good idea, might be more convinced by a breathing human as opposed to a raving skeleton. That's true. Dimerson saying Deep Blue Dominions. I don't know what that means. And then Tenor is saying Distant Worlds 2 is lacking a lot in quality of life aspects, in my opinion. Yeah, but so was Dwarf Fortress when it launched. Dwarf Fortress was impressive. I loved it. I loved Distant Worlds 2 as well when it launched, to be honest. Anyway, let's go back to here. Because this actually did, it did launch, I think, at 90%. So it's dropped about 5%, I think. There was, in fact, Battle Mode pointed out there was a really funny review, which I'm going to try to, I didn't see it. I'm going to try to find it because it was from when he described it, it was like just hilarious. And so I'm giving all this credit to Battle Mode for finding this one because he did actually, we were on Discord, he shot it through, which I thought was really hilarious. I will try to find it. But this is interesting as well. Like normally when a game launches, because this is like over this week. So we end up with slightly more players, like the same players basically are playing it day in, day out. Then we get a bit of a rise, a couple of days ago. And then when this is, I think you had your early adopters sort of coming in here and couldn't wait to get the game. Been on the wish list. There is actually a wish list area. This is sort of like, it sort of picked up. We started hearing about it back in July, fairly big interest with people wish listing it all the way through. And then all of a sudden, bang, we've sort of got like a lot more people, up to 6,000 wish listing it there, which is not a hell of a lot of people, but it's still good for a game this niche. But I think people bought it there, and then finally there's another bunch that thought, screw it, I'll just pay the money. Like they're holding off. I mean, it is on special at the moment, 15% off. But it's just funny because quite often when there's a launch of a game, it actually it spikes for one day like massively, and then it dwindles off. It doesn't. I mean, it may be still too early to sort of tell. It's also funny how little people play it like at different times. Like they lose half their viewership, more than half their viewership. At when's that? That's like this is at 10 o'clock Universal time, like 10 o'clock British time. So 10 o'clock in the morning, which is midnight here in Australia, which doesn't sort of make sense to me. Midnight here in Australia is usually like that's the quiet time for Australia, but it's usually a busy time for other places around the world, particularly America. So I'm sort of funny. I find that sort of funny that would be the dip, unless that's my gameplay time. But no, it's funny because that is sort of like that's midnight here. Actually, is it 10? No, sorry, hang on, I'm doing that one wrong. That's if it's 10 a.m. in England. God, how does it work? 10 a.m. is 12 noon. Actually, no, that's wrong as well. Yeah, no, it is midnight. It's the well, anyway, no, hang on. Anyway, I can't remember. I can't think it through. Anyway, that's but it's just funny. Anyway, I thought it's funny that so many people are not playing it at that time. And I think that this is about the time when I start to stream, like around about sort of like I thought it was about 1800, 1600 was when I start to usually stream the game. So just as it's coming into its peak, which is cool. Okay, so Sacred Boy is then saying, what can I say? Dom fans are amazing. They're great, aren't they? They really are. They really are. So hi, A.S. Russell, how you going? And Battle was saying, Dominion 6 looks to have sold well to me. Yes, I think so. It certainly was on the leaderboard for a while today. Over the as well. So which is cool. Anyway, let's have a look and see. Can we glean from that? That's probably all we can really tell. There's not much to really see. But I was like quite often it doesn't do this. If we go to Dwarf Fortress, actually I don't know if we can see the charts for this rating algorithm. Oh, here we go. It's just explaining it. I thought there's a graph on over time. I think it might be in Steam itself, but it might be 1 week's probably not really long enough to be able to gauge what does happen. But there is a graph, I think, in Steam. If I go and open up Dominion 6 in Steam, now this is another thing as well. The all the different pronunciations of Pantocrator. It's interesting because I did look it up, and Pantocrator is the British way of saying it. Pantocrator is the US way of saying it. So it's funny that the two different and they're both legitimate. And if you listen to the Greek way of saying it, it's actually really quite different from both of those again. And Greek, that comes from a Greek word apparently, from what I was told. So it's so C. Sanders saying it's funny that you mentioned that you tend to stream in the morning. So US AM I don't play. I watch evenings. I play the game. There we go. Yeah, I do it mainly because I've got good internet at this time, and I just wake up really early anyway. So if we have a look at the all reviews, yeah, so 85%. There is a maybe it was back there somewhere. There's something where you can look at the graph. Yeah, I can't see it there. But there's a good number of reviews actually. 323 is actually pretty good. I can't remember how to find the graph of the review graph as to what people thought of the game. Because Distant Worlds 2 would be an interesting one to do that with as well. Yeah, I can't remember where that sort of shows. There's somewhere where it actually does show the over time. View update history. Yeah, I can't think of where it actually is. Right, let's just go across to. Yeah, it's got to be in here somewhere. There's got to be a way. Review type. I'll try to find that funny one. Negative reviews. There's 50 of them. I think it was just a really short one, so we should be able to find it fairly easily. And we should try to find whoever's got the biggest amount of time in the game. It's funny. It's funny that people like UI and controls are very archaic. World map is very ugly, even by grand strategy standards. Not just the literal map itself, but all the visuals, units, troop move. Hey, it's Dominions. It's just the way it is. I do agree with the map. Actually, I think that the map. I would love to see a more illustrative map rather than the one that they've got. I would love that. So that's why Map Nuke is also almost working 100%. It's working about 90%. It's not doing the underground layer as well as because the underground layer is broken at the moment for map making. It was another refunded one, I think. 26 hours and didn't like it. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. So he didn't really want to give it a thumbs down, but there we go. No. See, I disagree with this. Anyway, is that it? Where's yours that you saw? Battle mode? I'm not seeing it there. Yeah, 6.8. This is long enough to gauge. I'll just go with this. It's just the most helpful. Yeah, 43 people found this review helpful. Let's have a read of this one. I find you get the most, and this is a well thought out review. So it actually, and I like this. I think a negative review is actually, for me, more of a selling point than a positive review in many ways. So let's have a deep dive into this particular review. So an almost strictly worse game than its predecessor, which is impressive given the tiny amount that it's changed. See, that I disagree with all of that. Dominion 6, but I'm a fanboy. Dominion 6 is scaled up compared to Dominion's 5, and armies are larger, so it's talking about that one. A net negative. The tedium of scripting your armies is equally scaled up. That's wrong. I don't see that either. Like, I think that the scripting is actually sped up with the way that they've actually got where you can marquee select and do other things like that. You can actually do a lot very quickly in the game. You can actually do your scripting straight all from the actual layout page. So there's a lot of synergies now with the way that you sort of end up doing it all, which is actually really cool. But I'm saying another one you mean had 2 or 3 comments saying the same things. Yeah, I can't see it. Maybe they've all been taken off for being. I can't see it in there. Maybe they've got taken down for terms of service or something like that from what they were saying. Maybe. I thought it was funny though. It sort of shows the time. What it was that there's a faction called Feminini in the actual game, and somebody had written a review getting a refund because he didn't want to buy a game that was spruiking a politically correct message. He thought it was a pro-feminist game because of the new faction Feminini. It was really funny. It wasn't, and it was written as a serious comment. But anyway, it was Battle Mode found it and shot it through to me. It was really, really funny. The addition of new Magic Path incredibly underwhelming. Just make Magic Paths moddable. Right now, it's unbalanced and boring. That's not true. This is okay. This is someone's perspective, but from my perspective, this is actually such a good idea because they've been able to really nuance these. The illusion style things, so if it was called an illusion and not glamour, I think that superficially it would sound better if you knew that was the school of illusion. and not the school of glamour. But the glamour for me has always been the wrong term, because it is all about illusion. And so the separation of mounts and riders, now I have to read 2 separate tabs to see the stats of a unit. Oh God, no, that's wrong as well. It's awesome having that split. It's actually really, really awesome. It sort of changes so much in the combat, makes it amazing. New Dominions, $40 mod for Dominions 5. No, I disagree with that one as well. It's such a big change, such a big step up. Number of changes intended to ease gameplay. I'm not having a go at the reviewer. I think that somebody to put all this together, this is their perspective, and I do respect that. A number of changes intended to ease gameplay. So some good changes were made here. Ability to box select commanders here when setting formations. There we go. So hang on, that counteracts that one. So the box select commanders when setting formations, additional information in the UI amongst others, and some bizarre ones. For example, if you have a map edge scrolling turned on, you cannot click the UI without scrolling the map. Also, how many hours of time was wasted changing all these icons? They're just as low quality as Dominions 5. That's true. Actually, I do find that the UX/UI, like the basic way that's presented across the top of the map is too small, and it's sort of too easy to click on the wrong one. And they've got some sort of dangerous ones up there as well. Like the end turn right next to your preferences and things like that, where just the button by default is just too much. With what it actually does have. Level 9 spells. These spells now require each one to be researched individually. The opportunity here to make these spells more impactful to research the research cost, but instead you just got one, you just got ultra nerfed. I disagree with that as well. Typically, when you're playing the game, if you're getting like a high level, level 9, you're not wanting to get the whole school anyway. You only want one of them, and that's pretty much. So I think this is actually a good way. So I think that it sort of spreads it out a little bit more, which I think is nice. But you typically you're only aiming for one anyway. So it's not as if you need all of them. Caves. Most people hate oceans. This is worse. I think the way the random caves are done, I think that they're good, but the way that the actual cave system is done, particularly if you're a modder, is broken at the moment. So it's certainly I've certainly been having a lot of trouble with my map, trying to get that one to work. So ultimately, I don't think this release was worth breaking all of the mods and tools the community made from the previous game. But unfortunately, if you want to join the large multiplayer community, you'll be forced to play this version. Yeah, look, it's that's perspective. I mean, there are comments. What does that say? Yeah, skill issue. Individual level 9 spell research is an optional setting. Okay, I didn't realise that. Sombre is he's an incredible member of the community. Actually, I've got to give a shout out to Sombre. He's sort of like he does a lot of curating of the community and assisting with different things. I actually expected this to be a dump on the actual reviewer, but like from everyone, this is a little bit that way. I'm sure if Battle Mode had his way, he'd be writing something very, very nasty in here. Only joking, only ribbing it at Battle Mode. But yes, I do want to give a shout out because Sombre has got a mod that he's putting together. He's got it. It's released at the moment. The Warhammer mod. I might show that actually. Let's do a salute to Sombre with actually a look at the Warhammer mod, because it is actually an exceptional mod. Done in 3 parts. It's a song in 3 parts. What he's actually done. It does come from Dominions 5. Nemesis Leon saying you dislike it because it's more complicated. They're all the same game. Every time I get a new one, had to refund 6. Yep. So there's people that agree. Good points. Feels like we went 10 steps back and 2 steps forward. So there's someone else who agrees. Weren't caves in Dominions 5s? No, there weren't. Not a cave layer, not a plane of caves. Anyway, that's interesting. You can play without caves, by the way, if you don't want them. So you can actually sort of go and set them up, straight away from the start of your game. But anyway, I'm glad that there's not just a dump on people. Like when people do, like that's a lot of consideration. I disagree with it, but it's a lot of consideration. So for me, that would not convince me to not get the game, because it's. Well, I guess it may be if I didn't know that some of this is not really all that accurate. But I really find it incredibly different, like incredibly different. But anyway, again, I'm not having a go at the reviewer, and I am glad that people haven't actually dumped on the reviewer. So that's good, because quite often the Dominions, even though the Dominions community is really, really accepting and a very, very cool community, there are elements who will actually end up they're so into Dominions that they'll turn on people who do that sort of stuff, and can be quite savage, which we don't want, of course. But no, that was good. That was a good series of response. But I want to say no, Battle Mode no longer does that after the Shadow Empire DLC thing that really pissed me off. There we go. Let's not go there, Ben. We'll leave that alone. We'll leave that alone. I've missed a few of the comments here, so I'll just go back up to where I sort of missed them. Yeah, okay, so God, sorry, I missed so many. Okay, so Bruce Riggs is saying, got off work in 4 hours and then it's game time for me. I'm a productive worker, there we go. And Battlemate's saying, I love Winter's map. Take it over Map Nuke any day. It's so much better now too. Makes fantastic maps. See, I disagree. I think it's I actually much prefer Map Nuke, the style of Map Nuke, a lot. And so Map Nuke though is not. It's a random map when it builds it, and it does a better job of building the maps. But I guess with the new system in Dominions, it does, like Dominions itself now has got more of a balance with the way it does build the maps, not like the old way. So the maps are better, much better in Dominion 6 than they were in Dominions 5. But Map Nuke is going to will be. It's not yet, but it will be the way to generate the maps. I think, particularly for multiplayer games. But having said it, I know that the devs, like from the beta process, are looking at how to balance different factions, which is like, and I've seen that when I built my like during the week I've built my own arena map, and in the testing of that, I found that was really interesting to sort of see what happened, how the terrain changed with each faction. And so I think that there's going to be less reason to start a multiplayer game in Map Nuke now than in the actual base game, because the base game will be able to eventually actually be able to sort of create what it needs around itself. I can show that if you like. I might do that as well. I'll show that particular map. So where are we? Yep. Okay, so Whiskey M is saying, I found out about the series over 15 years ago, but only now decided to familiarise myself with a couple of your guides. I even managed to convince a friend to buy and play with me. Okay, that's cool. That's very cool. By the way, if you are wanting to play the game, again, there is actually a very, very welcoming community. There's people who will help you through your first multiplayer games and things like that. I know on my Discord there's a group of people trying to set up a multiplayer game as well. They're also gravitating back towards the Steam forums to look to sort of set it up through there. It's very easy to set up a game in multiplayer. But don't feel bad, or don't be backwards in getting in and playing a multiplayer, no matter what your skill level is. As I say, the community itself is almost without exception, it's incredibly welcoming, and really what their goal is just to help people get into the game. Like there's no, so when they do have like a beginner's version of like a multiplayer game, they really do mean it. Like if somebody goes in there to just ruffle stomp through everyone and stuff like that, that's pretty much frowned upon. So it's about teaching the game and having fun with the game, and I really like that aspect, and that's been the way for so long. So it's one of those special communities that actually is very, very passionate. They're very active, and they have been for decades basically. So anyway, yeah, Ben was saying which one you mean. I had 2 or 3 comments saying the same thing actually. Yeah, and then we got so Urasaka saying Panto means all crater means strength. So okay, so Pantocrator. So Pentacrator means almighty or all powerful. There we go. I didn't realise that. Amnesia is saying underground made by Agatha playthrough, a lot more immersive. Made it interesting invading the overworld after I conquered all of my cave and built forts at the tunnel points. Yeah, that's actually, see, this for me actually does really change how you play with the underground nations. In fact, even on my own test map, Ulm started underground there in one of the starts, which I found interesting, like, because, and I thought, yeah, that still works, because Ulm doesn't need to, like, that's why I'm thinking, for me, Ulm is a dwarf nation, like it's and so starting in the cave layer for me with Ulm was like, yep, that works. I'm happy with that. I mean, it doesn't do it very often, but it did do it a couple of times, or one time when I was testing my map. Sacred Boy is saying, wait, really? I don't know what that's referring to. Maybe about the actual reason with the Feminini. It's really funny. I wish it was still there, because it was a really funny, like, it was just, you can see someone just absolutely raging, like just going, oh my God, this, all this politically correct woke nonsense and blah, 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 and off we go. It was very funny. Anyway, so the Spicy Jim is saying, I may or may not have tagged that person's review as funny. Yeah, it's very funny. What do we get up to? Sorry, things are racing away from me. Glamour is the right term. It's an old school term for that sort of magic, says Sithel. I disagree. I think illusion would be better. So illusion magic, which is a more modern term, but it's sort of, for me, glamour. Glamour for me is like, I don't know, it's sort of like beauty, and it's not about beauty. So Balmaid saying glamour is right. Its literal meaning is more specific than illusion. It means how you're willing to use it. Precisely, says Sithel. So also you cannot just turn off that the 9-level spell research limiter. Okay, you can't do it. Balmaid saying I didn't think you could. I hadn't seen a setting for that one. Unless there's you may actually have a game start setting, because they've got a lot of game start settings that you don't realise are in the game. I won't open it up, but actually I will open it up. I will open it up because I'll just go to. I've actually I downloaded Sumatra PDF, which is just a really, really light PDF reader, and it's really cool. Anyway, all of this stuff. This is all your launch options, and you can actually sort of set up your launch options, and there may be something there in here. Maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in here that you can set up. That's all your network stuff. New game options. There's a lot you can do. Here we go. No level 9 rest. So players research level 9 spells as fast as any other spells. There we go. So it is in there. It is there in black and white. So hyphen, no level 9 rest. So that's it's just incredible, isn't it? Look at all this stuff. God, there's a lot you can do. This is all just your start options for a game. Anyway, that's I did notice that there was I was surprised at how many there were. I didn't bother reading it, but I was surprised how many there actually were. Okay, so let's just go back in. So Jacob's saying, been months since I was lucky to see a live stream of Dazzers. Yeah, I'm trying to do it at this time every day. This is going to be a long stream, by the way, because we've got a lot to go through. I'll try to sort of rattle along a bit faster. Yeah, Somebody's Warhammer mod is one of the best. It will be one of the best, I think. I've prefaced that because I don't know how long it'll take Sombry to actually go and do all of the mounts, but at the moment the mounts aren't there. Is Samantha Fox a playable character in Dom 6 then? Glamour-wise. Geez, Boobo, you're showing your age there. You're showing your age. Samantha Fox, that was 1980s, wasn't it? So she's 1980s or even earlier, 1970s? Or was she 1990s? I don't remember. I do remember her because she was massive as a page 3 girl, wasn't she, in England or something? Is there only one arena map laid out at the moment in the map editor? Is there only the arena map layout in the map editor? There's do you mean mine of mine in the map workshop? In the workshop area there's a few maps now. Battle Mode saying no, Battle Mode no longer does that. Yeah, okay, we did that one before. Did I go through? Which is Yep. So Ibanema is saying, "Lol, Samantha Fox, old school." Yes, it is very old school. And one can even set up a map to have caves the old school way. Yes, you can. You can basically designate a province as a cave province, so you can still do it that way. So Tenra is saying, Daz, you're a fanboy. Nothing can convince you to not get the game. Exactly. Battlemade saying, once again, most of the negative reviews from people who aren't actually playing it enough to understand what Dom 6 actually does. I agree with you. Even after 5 or 6 hours, it's not really long enough. I think that I saw in my friends list that Battlemade, you're up to 60 or 70 hours now as well. So it takes a while, and you're still learning stuff. You still come across things and you think, wow, that's a good way to do it. Hi, Sabosco, how are you going? I've been listening at 1.5 speed, catching up. Here we go. But I'm saying map nuke looks ugly and makes the same boring map every time. I like it for fair maps, but it's awful for single player. I love it. I really love how soft it is. Whereas I find that the actual Dominion's map, the default one is okay, but I prefer a softer looking map. Where the imagery stands out better on the top, and because it doesn't get lost in it, but it's not. It would, if it was knocked back 30%, if all of the color schemes in that were 30% lighter, I think the Dom 6 map would be about perfect. But the way it is, I think it really doesn't really look right. Okay, so Rot's saying, I would love a Battle Brothers Dominion style game where you played a single character with one army moving around the map, similar to Conquest of Elysium, but with Dominion 6 complexity, having only one army. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, with the We Play system, I don't know. I think in that's the case, We Play would just be would get in your way. I think that way you do want to be playing turn by turn. That's really that's the way that one sort of does work. Right, seeing the micromanagement of multiple armies can be a little overwhelming. Yeah, but I don't know. Like I think you tend to just play. You find a pattern and you can script. So you're just copying the same scripts into each unit, so you don't have to. You're just using keyboard shortcuts and then just creating line formation and plopping them where you want. Jimson saying, is it just me or the north-south wraparound seemed disorienting? Actually, one thing when I was live streaming that there's actually one of the maps that does have a north-south aspect, and that works very, very well. Like that particular one does really, really work well. I also saw in the map making forum on Discord for the actual game, there was people were discussing about how they could make an actual full, almost like a globe style map with the north south and east west wraparound to do something like that as well, but that wouldn't interest me. I do find it disorienting. I prefer the east west, but not the north south, or no wraparound at all. I think is good as well. What do we get up to? I'm nearly up to date. I might just skip ahead a little bit and just see if there's anything. This discussion there about Warhammer. Okay, here Battlemate saying, one guy claimed that Ilwinter were racist and hate Jews because Hinnom, giants are evil blood drinkers. These people don't know the source material. Well, also the one of the devs from Ilwinter, he's a I forget what he was a teacher who really knows his mythology. It was his hobby before he started doing Dominions, and so he gets inspiration. There's actually a section in the book that goes through how everything is inspired. It's sort of where is it? It's after all this stuff. I really like it actually. This is actually the inspiration of all of the different factions. It's been in their books for a while. The Origins of Nations. And so, if you wanted to sort of find out what Hinnom was, he actually writes. So Hinnom were heavily influenced by ancient Israelite, Canaanite, and Philistine concepts. Always been intrigued and fascinated by biblical mythology, and had long I wanted to include them, the Nephilim, and the biblical Genesis myths into the game. As far as I would do the sources, wouldn't do the sources justice. So it took a while before I finally got down to finishing the Nations. Bible, Book of Enoch, the Dead Scrolls, etc. So it's actually, Hinnom draws very heavily on the biblical and Enochian tradition, while the veneration of the defied dead kings of Ashdod draws inspiration from the Ras. So this, it's not just plonked in there, it's actually really, really cool. It's sort of everything is done this way, you know. Like it's really nice. It's funny. I've just there's a setting you can. I don't know. I'm assuming this was done in design, but there's a setting you can have where you don't let subheads not be connected to the text underneath it, and that setting's not on. That setting was not on in that instance, so that should have been pushed down to the next page. Anyway, I'll leave that one there. So I'll just skip straight through. Actually, Battlemode's saying that Christopher studied comparative religion, if I remember rightly. I can't remember what the actual thing was, but I know that, like, that's why Dominions again is so special, because the amount of detail that goes into it and the breadth of that detail is really cool. Anyway, let's shut down the manual, and we'll get back into this bit of it. So yeah, Dominions launched this week. Actually, I'll show you the in the workshop. Actually, I'll show you in game. Sombre's. Now, I think one of these is a bit broken, but you can go into mods, because I did download his mods. You've got it does come through with the current version and a stable version. These are all the different factions that then come in. Actually, if I do it there, I'll just go back out and escape out of that one. If I go into the current version for that one, and that should have turned itself on. Oh, hang on, right click, enable. Still didn't do it. Enable this click. Yeah, something's not working. Come on, game. Come on, game. Don't do this. I think I've right clicked too many times in a row. No, doesn't like it. I'll just get rid of it. Try that again. But this is already very good, and it's just going to get better and better, I think. And so I don't know how much tweaking he's got to do with this, but there's a little bit there. If we go into mods again, and just go and right click, and doesn't want to load it in. Yeah, it gets caught up. Oh, there we go. It's a big mod. It's a really big mod. So we've got Sombre's Warhammer current version. He also has this disable vanilla in through here as well. So this does contain errors. That's okay. You can still turn it on. What that one does is it gets rid of all of the vanilla factions and vanilla races, but there is actually a problem with it at the moment. This is what I mean. Like at the moment, there's still things that are being tweaked on it, but that will be really cool. And so you turn both of those on, and then you end up with a so you've got the unknown mod, Sombre's Warhammer mod, and we're just going to create world. So I did click. I'll just click any of these old things on. That'll be okay. And just go test again, and delete that old test game, Middle Ages. And so he's actually now done something where you've then got all of these different Warhammer groups. So if we go into the where's the Altdorf? Let's go to Altdorf, City of the Emperor, and just go and click on OK. And so these are where he does actually have, like for example, if we go to Demigriff Order Knight, or just the Order Knight in through this other side, he doesn't. It's not split yet. So this is actually still with it riding on the horseback. But this is a full, you can play a full game of Warhammer in Dominions as well, just through this one mod. Very well done, incredibly well done. And he's already got the things like the order limits for +1 and things like this. So I do want to give a shout out to that mod, because it's it's a very impressive work, and it's come from earlier versions of Dominions. It's not just Dominions 5. It was all different factions in Dominions 4, I think it was, or even 3. But I used to play it back then. It was a bit buggy way back, but it's just been getting better and better over time. And so these are full-on factions now from the Warhammer. Actually, one thing I don't know is I think that if we click on OK, physical forms. Do we have anything that's not? Yeah, the gods aren't Warhammer gods. So we don't actually have Warhammer gods. We've just got the Dominions gods in there. Yeah, there's no reason that those couldn't be added in at some point as well, I guess. But anyway, I do want to give a shout out to that mod. It's a very, very good mod. Just go cancel. Actually, just go okay, yes. Okay, and cancel that one. And cancel, and cancel, and cancel. I will just go back and turn them off. And the other thing, I've like as I say, I've been sort of just working on my own. I'm trying to sort of I've been trying to do tutorials for map makers, and so I do have a loaded map now that you can actually get if you are wanting to test the game. I've got two. One is Arena Basic. I would avoid that one. Everyone's picking that one, which is actually just the like it's just been set up across from my Dominions 5 map of the arena. But if you go to Arena in through here, and so it's a loaded map, and then just click on OK. You don't have an underground selection in this case. Let's just call this one Test as well. And Middle Ages will be fine. So if I go, for example, you can only, like you're best to only play at 2-player, 4-player if you actually designate where everyone does start, or probably 3-player would be safe. If we go into here and choose Agartha, so you do actually have an underground. If I just make this one a human as well, and I like showing Pangaea. Actually, I can actually add another one as well. Let's go and add Satis. These are sort of actually maybe Ermor, because that one does give a different sort of look. And click on OK. I can put another one in there. This is Pangaea. Just press random. Okay, okay, okay. This is Ermor, random. And Agartha. And if I just play without any thrones, conquer all is the settings that this one should actually have. And so each start is like one thing I love about the actual way that the new way of Dominions actually does work. If I go and start to play Pangaea, it will then try to give me forest. And so Pangaea, in this case, has ended up with the cold province, and then it's given me forest back over through here. So I personally much prefer this style of map. Like it's sort of for me suits the game a bit better, but it's that's just my own personal preference. And so Pangaea is back over this other side. If we go, just go yes, Ermor. Again, frozen wastelands. Now they didn't do. There's not too many other wastelands. They did actually have a forest back over here. Not that it matters much, but it's quite often when you do select Ermor, you'll end up with another wasteland somewhere nearby. But Pangaea can sometimes be completely surrounded by forest, so that's actually quite interesting to see that one as well. And then Agartha. This is actually the bit that's broken. So Agartha starts underground, so that's the cave arena back in through that other side. But one thing it doesn't show is this should be a crystal cave, and it doesn't show that. That's a cave forest, and that's a cave. That's just a normal cave. But the things like the cave forest, the crystal caves, and the drip caves, which we can't see, yeah, it's just a cave as well. But the drip cave, those other three don't render. So I'm not sure why. We'll have to wait for Ilwinter to sort of get back and do that one. But that's that's the proper version that I've got. So if you do want it, this is designed for testing, and I will actually be doing another episode at least, and I'm going to actually write instructions under here how to actually do the scripting, so that you can actually script to test your builds, which is actually really cool. But am I saying your arena map is the first thing you get from the workshop? It's a handy little map for the simple reason that it's designed to test against other players. Like if you're playing multiplayer and you know what the other person's got, if you know what their bless strategy is, for example, or whatever else it might be, or if you know what they're playing, you can then just go into this map, and there's a way to set it up to script it so that you end up with a setup. But typically it'll be on the overworld. You just go yes. So there's not the distance between each player is very, very short. So you can actually then set up a situation where you're just playing as both sides to see what would happen if you then come in and do a fight, or like, you know, so you can sort of build anything you like, and it's not very onerous to actually to script it. You can do it this way, but you can actually do the scripting as well. Yeah, there's different ways of doing it. Anyway, it's so that's the. But I love this how it actually changes. Like if that's Ermor is going to be Wasteland. I think I'm going to knock back the how white the actual winter is. I'm just going to change that a little bit. But that's but it's cool what they've done with it. You know, like this farmland is randomly placed, that there is randomly placed. If I go back in and just go and exit, quit without saving, create new world, load the map. So Arena Basic doesn't have anywhere near this finesse. So I wish I didn't ever upload it, to be honest, because it's ended up being the more popular of the two maps, and it shouldn't be. So I'm just going to call this one test again. Delete that one. Middle age. Okay. It's best with just 2 players. That's what it's designed for. It's designed for you to be able to test against another player, and so you would set them both up to human. What's another one? Satis starts off with swamps, for example. Abyssia sometimes starts underground, sometimes doesn't. Click on OK. Okay, random. All right. Okay, random. All right. And because it sets up the worlds like this, actually I should script that so that it doesn't come in. I think I can set that up to be a conquer all by default. So I might actually have a look at that one. So look at Abyssia, Escape. Yeah, they started underground. They start underground more often than not, but they can start above ground. So they started under there. You have to go to the cave arena and then go up above that one. If I go back up to, just escape that one. And Satis. So Satis has started, actually that's interesting, they've got like quite often there'll be, again, multiple swamps. In fact, that's a swamp there which is 2 away from where they started. But even in the water with the kelp forest and stuff like this, it's just a nice way that the map actually changes. And I like that. And so I think eventually there'll be more and more of these. This is what like this part of Map Nuke is working very, very well, but the underground, no one can get the underground to work yet. So, right, anyway, so, yeah, the 2D art in the Warhammer mod looks unreal. It's very, very good what he's done, actually. Yes, I guess that's why some used to get a bit annoyed at people who get annoyed that they get fantasy wrong in Dominions. It's not based off popular fantasy for the most part. Yeah, it's sort of all over the place, isn't it, really, where it comes from. I'll just skip ahead a little bit. Can't wait for him to finish off the mounts. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'll definitely be doing a playthrough when that's all done, because it is an exceptional mod that he's got. Like it's so many factions in there, so many of the fantasy factions it's really, really well done. I wish that someone has done a Warhammer map, but it's not a full Dominions. God, is that going to be? Yeah, someone has actually put one up. If we go back to the, let's go back out and quit out of this, quit without saving, then quit, and have a look at because I'm interested to see how many different things are coming day after day. If we go to Community Hub, I'll just press F11 just so it takes up the full area of the workshop. See, this is God. That's one. It's just I've changed it so basic conversion from Dominions 5. Don't choose it, guys. Don't choose it. But that's the one. That's the one that gets chosen. This is the one. This is the one that you want, not this one. I think I even wrote in it not to grab it. Yeah, a more detailed Dominion 6 compatible version is here. Yet people, that's 300 odd subscribers. If I go back to this one here, and this came 2 days later, I think. Yeah, so it's picking up subscribers, but it's really oh, there we go. Battle Mode's got it. There we go. 2 hours ago. Thanks, Battle Mode. But this is by far the better map. By far the better map. I may have to be more explicit. I don't know how I can ram it down people's throats. Cecil's saying I've subscribed to both dads. Thanks for that, Cecil. Okay, so I want to delete the old one because it's still valuable. Like the reason I actually put it up there was because it goes in conjunction with my video on converting maps across. So for people who, like, I've got a system of building my maps where I can do it really, really fast to then end up with all these different terrains very, very quickly, relatively quickly anyway. Whereas most other people who have built their own maps don't have that, and so they don't have the luxury of being able to do that. And so, but I do, so because of the way I've built it. And so I have shown how I build it, but I know, for example, that some of the best maps that were from DOM 5 will never be done other than just a simple conversion across, and which is fine, but it's just not going to. Like, I think that there's so much extra richness when you've actually got random terrain coming into a handcrafted map. I've got a big map that I was going to. I'm thinking of changing, but that's going to be a fair bit of work. I'm sort of thinking about it because I know, like, this is a small map. This is a tiny little map. But the big ones, I'm actually a bit apprehensive about actually getting into those. I do prefer the graphics in the bigger map. Than this one's still a little bit too dark for me. Like, it's still you could still do with it being a little bit more knocked backwards, like in terms of the tone. But anyway, that's the one you want, not the Arena Basic. So if you're looking at this and you're thinking which one should I grab, get this one because the terrain changes. In Arena Basic, it doesn't change. So this is by far the better map to use. So Braden saying I subbed already. Put map conversion tutorial in title. Yeah, maybe I should do that one. Yeah, and link the video. I think I did link the video. It's funny, if you put a description, there's so many little things we're learning about. No one bothered with map making because the game didn't ship with maps. And so it was just a random map was all that it actually had. But for all the map makers, they're all now scrambling, trying to sort of get their maps to convert across. But it's really hard. It's actually, and because no one's really tested the editing tools. The editing tools are a bit buggy at the moment, so they will be fixed, but they're probably not the main priority. So anyway, hopefully at some point, there we go. Braden saying unsubbed already. Cool. Yeah, but I think I did link. But then if you put a description inside your map area and then re-upload the like inside your map file and then actually re-upload it to Steam again, it replaces everything you wrote. So you've got to make sure you don't have a description, which is sort of counterintuitive as well. It's sort of the things like that aren't explained, and so it shouldn't replace what you do here because it doesn't handle returns. I haven't done much testing, but it doesn't seem to handle returns. So yeah, and so I've also got like all the files are available here as well if anyone is a map maker. So anyway, that's the one. So yeah, Dominions, what big week. We better get on to some other games because there's been a lot of stuff going on in Steam. So we'll go to just go to the store page. So that was the first hour just on Dominions basically. But anyway, let's just go back to Steam itself. Now the games. If I go back to my library, actually, I'll just do that one a bit differently. F11. I'll just open up my actual Steam. It's a bit smaller with what does come through. But yeah, again, if the community in Steam, there's like the Steam forums is a real good place to go to, and there's also a Discord for Dominions as well, which is a great resource for for all sorts of different things. And Sombre is I think the curator of that particular Discord, by the way, and he's been involved in Dominions for decades. As many people in the community actually are, which is again, it's funny when you come back into these little closed, like in the beta, for example. The people there are the same people that you've seen time and time again. It's really cool. So many of them are modders and stuff like that. Okay, we've got what are we going to be doing? I forgot what I was going to do. I was going to show the library. Let's get back into the library again. Okay, so news. Let's just go through it all. So we have So the breaking news is regular update. That was just Dominion 6.01. They just changed a few little. There'd be a lot of bug fixing, I think, in the first couple of weeks. Okay, breaking news. So Terminator Dark Fate Defiance is coming out on February the 21st. So this one's coming out in about a month's time. This is one that's, I think, has really become like, I think a lot of people have wishlisted this one. If we go and look at Terminator. I'm interested in this one as one of the ones that is then put into here. If we just do Terminator, Dark Fate Defiance. Now it's not launched yet, but we should be able to get a look at the charts. Oh, hang on, that's not the same. Wrong. I'll just do that one again. Terminator. Yeah, so not putting it in there because it's not launched yet. Okay, so that's actually not going to help. That's a different game there. So that's so with that one. Yeah, so that one's coming. I'll just go back to my list again. So this one's coming on February 21st. Now, I played a very, very early version, and I haven't played it since. So I do actually have it. To sort of test out. But I haven't actually tested it again since it first came out. I'm looking forward to trying it because I've heard good things about it. But when I played my version of it, I didn't like what I played. So it's not typically my type of game. It is a real time type game. So it's one of those things that I think like from what people are saying, they really are enjoying it a lot. But I did struggle with it a bit. As you know, it didn't make a lot of sense to me with what was actually going on, but that may be, hopefully it's changed by now. I did give that sort of feedback at the time. Anyway, that's going to be, I think that a lot of people are looking forward to that one. It certainly looks fairly polished. So that's a month away. This is another game I mean to play. I haven't really played it. Dyson Spheres, it's always got new things at the moment. It's sort of nothing happened for months and months, and then all of a sudden it's happening. Diplomacy is not an option. New surroundings. I've got to play that again at some time as well. Desynced. Again, I haven't played this one. This will be in my try list. Archmage Rises. I did have a look at that one. I didn't really get into it much. Travenus 2. I forget what that one is. God, this is not all that good. This is one that I do want to talk about, actually, because this is one I haven't played for a long, long time. And the last time I played it, I found it really, really frustrating. But I think it's actually been rebalanced a lot. So this is actually now, Rising Lords is a game that is it's a pretty cool idea, but it just wasn't executed very, very well. And it's very much like the Lords of the Realm. Lords of the Realm 2, I guess, would be the one that you'd sort of be thinking of back in the 1990s, I guess, was when that one came out. So this is sort of like it feels very much like Lord of the Realms when you play it. I might even show it, actually, because it's... I'll just go and we might as well do it, because this is one of these games this week that I do want to talk about, because the idea of this game is incredible, and I haven't really played it much since that time. So that will be under Medieval, Lord of the Realm. Where are you? Oh, Rising Lords, not Lord of the Realm. Rising Lords. Here we go. So it is launching. It should be version 1. And if this is now as balanced and actually as fun to play, this is going to be a game that's going to be worth playing. So this is the actual launch of the actual launch of the game, and I want to do a video on this at some point this week, I think, because it only just came out yesterday, I believe, yesterday or today. I can't remember which one. Anyway, I'll press left mouse button to continue. Oh, okay. I don't know why I was putting all that one there. All right, so let's just quit out of all this stuff. It's got a story-driven aspect to it, but it's actually you can actually just play a map, And so that's the way I prefer to play. But there is actually the story does ease you into the actual game itself with how to play the battles and stuff like this as well. But there's a bit of intricacy, which is good. It's got a good intricacy, which has got a single player. There's actually multiplayer as well. Multiplayer, host scenario, host custom battle. So you can play just a battle or an actual scenario. The scenarios are quite interesting. The scenarios are the Lord of the Realm style way of playing the game. The battles are literally just a fight. And so in a scenario, if you go into these scenarios, you've got these different kingdoms. So this is like the English Channel, where you've got like Normandy back up through here, going down into France proper, and then just the English Channel with southern England across there. So this is actually a 4-player map, 21 regions, and so you then take over each region. But there's heaps and heaps of maps. No, not heaps and heaps, but there's a lot of them, and I think a lot of people are building these as well. It's very simple to build this one. This one is map name. This one is called map name. Southwest Oberlin. There we go, back down that way. Then we've got Bohemia and Moravia, Hungary. So these are sort of more. Actually, there is a lot in here. Abyssinian Crusade. These will be the ones. I haven't downloaded anything other than these. This is Colossal Coves. Not sure where that is. If some of these don't have to be historical. This is actually just a 4-player, 4 regions. So you have your start region. That's what you actually end up having. I might just open one of these up. I'll find a simple one on the edge. 2 players, 6 regions. This is almost like a little map to sort of just get you started. This is actually a fairly good one. This one's been in the game for a long time. That's another 2 players, 6 regions. Yeah, so it goes through. There we go. We're back through the list again. But these, if we go back to this one here, and then go and so you've got essentially like a Lord Henry, what level they are going to be, like how they sort of then play, what their team is like. So you can sort of set these up however you like. I won't bother doing much with those. The different settings with resources, weapons, prosperity, battle timer, permadeath, the event deck. Victory, different types of victory as well. So you can actually go with a specific one, and the starting position random. If we go and play the game, it looks Battle Brothers a little bit with the way it sort of does work. And so this is your kingdom, and you can sort of scroll out and have a bit of a look. So we know the border is there. So that little dotted line is the border. And it's just the arrow keys to move this one around, and the border is there. So this is this is a different town that this is an independent town, and then we've got independent towns in through here as well. So you can see there when I hover over it, this is Schweinstadt, this is Hageldorf, we're in Sonneberg, and this one over through here is Schneeheim. And so you've got these, like, you've got different characters. You sort of move them around. You build things in your area. So you've sort of got like a little area in here that you can go and build stuff. But it's pretty cool. You've got different like merchants that come through, and so there's a management aspect to this where you sort of building. Like this one here is building up sheep farming. The sheep farming thing will give you different resources, like we're getting plus 12 sheep, and so wool needed for light armor. The light armor is then placed back over through here. The light armor is then used to then create spearmen and swordsmen, crossbowmen, and then there's like a rock paper scissors way of fighting the battle. So you need to balance what you're doing through here. I've forgotten exactly how to do it, but you've got your tithe in through this here, and your rations as well. How much food you're going to be giving to your populace, which then either makes them happy or unhappy. If you run out of food, you're in trouble. You've got the different seasons, so we're starting off in winter. Now this in through here, there's actually a hex underneath this one, but I can actually then just go and start to build. You can start the building here by clicking the right mouse button. I can then start to build different things, for example, like dwellings, which will house more people, so I can have more people. Then bathhouse, this will make people happier. A town guard, so we can actually get more protection, and so you end up with a really, really cool little village that makes sense in terms of the mechanics that you want to then go and play. And so the idea is that you're trying to build up an actual army, and if I just press X there, if I go now, how do we build an army? You construct a building. It's going to be right clicking. Let's auto govern. I think it's one of these. That's diplomacy. provisions, yeah, army. So if we go and click on the army, so the army, this is the army in through here. So you got your character who is like the commander of the army. And if we then just go, we've got 20 crossbows that we can put in, 20 spearmen, 20 light armor, 20 swords, and we've got 20 heavy armor. So we can sort of make like a small group that we can then sort of go through. So maximum, I can then just go to plus. These can be recruited. These are just from your peasant stock. This is just essentially a peasant, which is quite weak. I can then just go and change. Oops, hang on, that's the number. If you just go back and grab the types. So these here, this is an archer. So it's range bonuses. What does it have? Range penalties. I think all we need is just the archery. So if I just go and start to, if I go and raise this one up to 20, so it just comes off the ranged materials that we had, and so that one's okay. We're going to place another one through here. Just go across again, and here we've got spearmen. This one will use both this and the spears. So if I just go and grab that, so that comes off there, and then the last thing we can really get is just swordsman. So we've got swordsman there, and we can then get crossbowmen. I could have gotten, instead of getting the spearmen, I could have gotten crossbowmen. Knights require horses. I don't have any horses, so I can't get any of those, but I can get swordsmen. So swordsmen are stronger again, and so you just basically sort of drag those up. So this is now got a 20, 20, 20. Let's just go and grab some peasants in here as well. Now I can get a fair few of these, up to 135, but this is then going to come outside of my peasant stocks. Let's just get, say, 50 of these. Oops, there we are. God, come on. Very finicky. All right, and so if that's going to be our actual starting army, we could then sort of just go, okay, spend the general's experience. You've then got different ways of setting up the attacks, which I'd completely forgotten about. So I'll just grab a few of these. I think you just right-click, or do you just long-click? Press left mouse button while hovering over an available skill slot to add a card to your deck. The Parvies. Oh, maybe you've got to start down here in here. Actually, it'll be these here. So you've got all these different things that you can then go and do. Let's just go and grab that one. Get that one as well. We started off with these up the top. I can then get even more. Like that's going to be extras. So I can sort of go through. These then become cards that we can then make use of. Now we're going to have a number of points XP remaining. So I can grab a fair few of these. And I think I can get extras. Yeah, I can get, I can double click those. So I've still got 330. Let's just go and get more of these. And 180 remaining. Okay, that'll do us. So get that one through there. So that'll do me. I'll just click on OK. So that's my card deck to use in the fights. And again, I've got full control over that. I think I can come back and change that one at any time. So that's the experience there, that particular one. Save decks, yep, that's fine. Yeah, so we just click on OK. And so, yes, muster the army. And so that's now our little army is back in through the other side. Now, when we go and click on the army, I can then just go and move it to a border area. So I can't move it in around the area. So we can move it to any of these borders. So if we move it to there, oops, hang on. Oh, hang on, he's going to move there. I'll just end the turn. So we still had peasants that weren't actually operating. So we're now on the border, and a bear appears. So you've got all these little random events that we now have to deal with. So there'll be a bear somewhere, like over here. Just get our army and then move in to claim this one. I'm doing a bad job of explaining this, but it's a pretty cool game. So they've got like this is like a little peasant army. So we can go to battle. And so this is the area that I can set up all my guys up in. So it's got like, you know, where we can put the traps and so on and so forth. So so we have like an area, actually all the green areas we can then set up our guys into. So I can sort of build them up. If we've got a hill, that's a structure. I don't actually have any hills on this particular map. I'll just place that one in there. Get the swordsman, the spearman back over there. The swordsman, oh hang on, they're moving that way. So we'll move that one up to there. And The peasants like to be in the swamps. And we then have to put ourselves into one of the other groups. So let's just pop ourselves into this group. So we then actually have, we'll just accept these. I won't play them, but essentially you are then playing like a small, very small battle. And then this is the order. So it goes ours, then theirs. Now we can't actually, I can fire at these, but we're not going to do very much. Can retaliate. They did more damage back to us. I'm going to leave that one there. I forget how to pause it. I forget how to do it. Anyway, let's move him up in that case. Oh, he's won. They've destroyed our camp. Yeah, so I've already screwed this one up. I should have kept someone back there. So that wasn't good. So I've already made a big hash of this one. Anyway, that's the... we won't continue playing that one. But it's a pretty good little game. And it just wasn't balanced well. This is going back a year or so back. Maybe even longer. There is a tutorial you can play, which is part of the story. Then you've got a story campaign as well that then goes through how to... Again, it just steps you through ending up building quite big castles and, you know, all the different bits and pieces. Anyway, I won't go through all that stuff. Can we get out of that one? Right on. Not sure what's going on in here. I don't know how to get rid of this. Oh, I shouldn't have clicked on it. Step aside. So this is a choose your own adventure type thing. Come on, get me out of here. Get me out of here. There we go. Exit back to the title screen. Yes, and then I'll quit out. But that's just gone into actual final release. This, and I think that they said that they've got more. They'll keep on developing it, but now is the actual. They consider it now to be launch ready. And so I thought that was interesting with Rising Lords. So out now. So finally starting to come. Rising Lords 1 is now available after 4 years of passion and heart. Okay, so the last time I played it was probably three or 4 years ago. First and foremost, I think I tried it maybe a year ago and didn't like it at that stage. But I really like the idea of this game. To celebrate the special day, we're offering a 2-week launch discount of 15%. There we go. So there's a release trailer in through there as well. I won't bother playing that one because most of it's to do with these stories. But the actual base game itself is very, very good. A lot of fixes been done. But anyway, the idea of the game is great. I just haven't played it for a while. So just see if there's anything. Where are we? What are the new graphic update? DOM 6. No, still pretty much the same. They've been correcting certain things in DOM 6. Anyway, that's Rising Lords. Okay, so the next one we have is Fantasy Commander. I haven't really played that one. Gal Civ 4 has actually now got the version 2.3 War and Peace changelog. Now this title is a bit misleading. It says that the full changelog is here. I'll just do the summary from this one here. This is the important changes. So the AI is much better at diplomacy, especially regarding war and peace. So this is something you don't really see in the game. I have been playing this a bit this week and recording for YouTube. So added diplomatic relation event, added war events. I haven't got into a war yet, so I'm looking forward to that. We support now different, like a smaller screen resolution, and added an option to view human versus human battles in multiplayer, which... So it says a major update, and I think that there's a major update, but you won't notice it when you first start playing it. This is sort of the way I would sort of read that one. And probably Battle Mode would have the better idea as to, if there is anything that really, really does leap out at the player. Certainly in the playthrough that I'm playing, I don't normally play very diplomatically, and I did want to actually sort of play diplomatically this time. So I have actually been going into it and playing a different faction that I've never played before. It's been in the game since the day one, but I've never played them because they appear to be more diplomatic. And it's a great game. I love the game. I mean, if we go to the change log, there is a lot of other changes, but a lot of them are bug fixes. Events now include trade resources for both parties. They're now clearly marked who gets what. So fixes, yeah. So there's just been a lot of polish put into this one here. Okay, so Michael just is in saying was fun testing the Terra Star in my last Gal Civ 4 game. Found a few bugs though in the mission and playing with the cosmic containment. Yeah, there's still bugs, and particularly if you're playing on the Insiders edition, which you can just opt straight into, which I do play on that one, but I'm finding bugs as well, just little ones. But they are fixing them fast. Like, they do. It's surprising just how much they've done in such a short period of time. It's really astounding. So AI difficulty changes. So they've actually sort of changed this one up as well. So for the difficulty they've sort of made bright. So bright AI no longer gets a production bonus, and AI wealth bonus has been reduced as well. So they get a little bit of a boost. But it's interesting. There's no. I would have maybe there's a normal in between easy and bright. Yeah. Okay. So they've just sort of brought things. They've tweaked things in through here. So there's a lot of tweaking. Actually, diplomacy. I haven't read this one. Maybe I should have read all this. Well, AI players will now ask for peace or at least a ceasefire and offer loot, depending on the situation. Lots of different options and lots of different types of bribes. AI updated to be more loyal when it comes to declaring war. That is, when bribed to go to war, they will reject bribe now if they've had a long, good relationship with the other civ. That's good. AI is much more reasonable about ending wars. The longer the war, the easier it is to make peace with the AI and each other. This change should reduce forever wars. Yeah, that was a problem I actually had. I couldn't get out of wars that were absolutely crushing me. Civs no longer get a diplomacy skill bonus when calculating their relations if they don't have the universal translator tech. Don't get a diplomacy skill bonus. Yeah, okay. It's okay. AI players generated events that resulted in talking to the player now count as contact with that AI. And further balance on negotiating peace with an enemy that is winning. So there's better there. If I declare war on another civilization, my ships are automatically moved out of their zone of control. That's good. That's good. Actually, that is good. The Covert World's diplomacy penalty is reduced, but it goes. I thought that zone of control thing was part of Gal Civ 3. I thought. The Covert World's diplomatic penalty is reduced, but it slowly grows over time. Okay, that's cool as well. We want to conquer the galaxy. Diplomatic penalty is reduced, but it grows more slowly. And trade route improved relations more than before. Okay, that's good as well. Diplomatic civs no longer covet other people's worlds. That's good as well. So there's just little balance things. So is it a major update? There's certainly a lot of work that's gone in there, but you probably wouldn't notice it. There's a lot of tweaking and changes, but there always is with the game, to be honest. There's so much that they do. Not all this, just it's all from that one update. So yeah, that's really cool. Actually, I'm glad I did click on that because I wasn't aware of the depth of changes. And then there was a couple of hot patches as well. Yes, so the important changes, it does sort of flesh it out a bit more than what I've seen there before. But this is, as I say, this is pretty cool the way it sort of does work with Gal Civ. It's actually getting better and better. And then, of course, the next big update coming for Gal Civ is the Warlords update. I don't know when that's coming, but I'm really looking forward to that because that's going to change combat itself. But this War and Peace diplomacy, I think will make again, it's just going to keep on improving the game. So Gal Civ 4, really cool game. Highly recommend it. Now we've got Master of Magic, Scourge of the Sea. Now this is coming in a couple of weeks. So I won't talk much about this one. There's just getting more and more information about what's actually coming. They did mention the date. So and I forget what the actual date is. But does it say when? I'll just go to the store page. and have a look at Scourge of the Sea. It just says coming soon there again as well. Anyway, that's coming within a couple of weeks, basically. So it should be about 2 weeks' time. So that one will then sort of hit. So that will be cool when that one actually does do it. Yep, no, that's all good. Anyway, this looks to be very, very good and a different direction again for it. So that's another one to look out for. There's a lot of, this year is going to be one of these years where there's going to be some amazing DLC coming out for different games. Right, so we've done that one, got all those. Just keep on skipping through. I'm going to miss a lot of these. Yep, so Gal Civ we've spoken about. From the Depths has actually now got another big update. This is a pretty amazing game as well. It's like Meccano, like having a Meccano set, like in a water type environment. It's actually quite an interesting. It's very, very hard to actually play, but it's it's essentially you're building all these mechanical pieces to build ships or turrets, whatever else it might actually be. It's very, very intricate. I haven't played it for a long time. But it's something that is fun to play, and it's got a pretty cool Steam Workshop. Have a quick look at this one here. Yeah, so it's just got regular updates. So do update this a lot. It should rate pretty highly if we go to the store page. Yeah, so I might just play this because I think some of you guys will be interested in this one. I'll just go back to the start. Oops, sorry guys. So you got build, like build your ships, this is all built from the Meccano set stuff. You then command your forces. Destroy. From the Depths, there we are. So they've got flying, land and sea. To design your fleet. And the designing of your fleet is quite intricate. This is all different things that are being designed up. It's very intricate. Then armor. That there is the intricacy. That there is a really good indication. So this has to be set up with all sorts of different things to ultimately build the turret. Power, ammunition areas, protection. So building it all up. All of these different components do things. This is only just to get the turret. And then sort of back up into here. The turret itself will have different components. So if you like the intricacies of building stuff, and you can do it different ways as well. Some of this stuff will be to machinery to rotate the turret, all sorts of stuff. Little guns on the top there, and take the skies. So you've got all these different, like you often need to be doing scouting. You can go to space as well, into low orbit. There's different missiles, different torpedoes. There's your missiles in the submarine. But it is a really, really intricate game. And so you essentially just control one ship or one unit, and you can then sort of have them. The others are just doing what they're doing, like they'll just follow you or whatever instructions you give them. Pretty astounding game. Pretty astounding game, this one. So, available on Steam there. So it's I did a tutorial series on it years ago. Actually, it was something that was when I started, I thought it was going to be able to learn the game very quickly, and and then be able to sort of put together a tutorial series, very, very quickly. It took me ages and ages to get used to how to do everything. The planning of doing the tutorial series for this one was really, really complex. Anyway, it's very positive, and that was before its actual release date. Then 90%. So it's a very, very positive game, but it's really, really in depth. It's not for the faint of heart. So anyway, that's that one there. So does the game come with a master's in engineering? Well, it probably needs to, because it can be done. The smallest thing can be done so many different ways. Like it's sort of like to put together a turret. If you don't optimize the way that people have got, like the way that your crew have got access to do different things, or if the auto loaders aren't doing what they have to do, then it does get in your way. Like it's not just plonking a turret down. You have to build the turret from scratch. And you've got so many different options of how you do it as well. So a walker, not seen that before being built in the game. I haven't either, actually. Seeing that big that big floating thing as well. That's something I haven't seen before. But there's so much you can do in this game. It really is like a Meccano set. If you enjoyed building things with a Meccano set, this is the game. This is the one where you can just do so much, and the fact that you can then fight with it, and it's even fun to just build a floating platform and then just try to see how you go against, maybe sort of like an AI ship or something like that, where it's coming to try to destroy the platform. And just like, even that is fun in this game. Like it's actually, and that's not overly daunting. Or even just building a speed ship, like a speedboat with a gun on it, and just seeing if you can avoid all the incoming shells that are coming your way. Each of the actual weapons, depending on how you built the turrets and things, have got different ranges as well. So it's just a fun game. It's like it is a really, really in-depth game, but it's not an easy game. I'm sure if we went to the different reviews, if we go to the negative reviews, that's going to be the one probably. Okay, so here's one actually. This one's now got 24 hours on record. We read this one here. So I refunded this game a long time ago because I really felt overwhelmed. I tried it again and ignored all the tutorials and went straight into the adventure mode, and I used that as my tutorial. You don't need to know everything to get by. You slap a propeller, engine, some cargo, and a weapon on a little box boat, and a few hours later you have a small missile boat with a keel the size of your mum, whatever that means. Then you keep going, you die a few times, make a few more boxes, and eventually make something workable. You realise that you're probably better in a fleet, so you duplicate your little boat and then figure out some AI on it. You then have 3 missile boats. This is the approach, actually. This is the approach. This is the way to play the game. Then comes the real fun, making a bigger ship with custom guns. So this is your step up. This is a really, really good review. That is a really good review of this game. Because that's the way to learn it. Is, as I said before, just a platform with a gun on it was actually fun to build and then fun to play with, and then you do start small, and you find that when you start small, you learn so much anyway. And so this is a really, really good review. Other people who are negative, the tutorials suck. This is easily my favourite game of all time. Definitely a passion project, and their learning curve is more like a cliff, but it's worth it. But I think that's the way to play this game. Anyway, that's go back to the library again. I'll just go back and get rid of that one. So that was From the Depths. That's been in active development for such a long time. I really should go back and try to play that again, because it really is cool. Dominion 6 released. Second Front has, this is actually big news as well this week. So, major update, the Commonwealth forces have arrived. Now, I haven't played it yet properly. I've started it up to see if it's actually in there, and it is in there. And let's have a look at this one, because this is actually really, really good. So, major update, the Commonwealth forces have arrived. Now, this was going to be a paid DLC for the game, but it's not. It's now a free update in the game. And so, so you end up with, this is actually the new stuff that you're getting. So 45 British tanks, 4 British assault guns, 6 British, it should probably say Commonwealth rather than British. So you've got, because there's different forces. So you've essentially got the 6 Commonwealth half-tracks, 18 Commonwealth armoured cars, trucks, you got 8, 9 guns, 16 different scenarios, and 1 new campaign. I didn't see the campaign when I had a look. I didn't actually notice that there. How the British force is different. So British forces won't cower in the face of the enemy, so they'll be a tough opponent. The infantry forces also have an advantage when aiming. So when engaging against German forces, you will need to keep in mind the advantages that they have in the field. They have assault engineers in some scenarios, which can be the strongest infantry opponent in the game. In the latter years of the war, they also have the advantage when it comes to their 88mm and 75mm guns. New terrain types, so we've now got desert terrain, so we can actually now have games set in the desert. When it comes to flora, the scrub tree is different than those in the European theatre. The cacti, they can pin you like wire. Movement across the sand takes more movement points. There's also the element of sun blindness. So there's a lot more in the game with this one here. I haven't played it properly yet. I've opened it up to have a look, but I haven't really done much. So there's bully beef to be free in the roadmap. Yeah, so they're calling it British, but it's actually Commonwealth, because you've got a few different Commonwealth nations now that you can go and play in different scenarios. So just have a quick look at this trailer. Just see if we can actually sort of get this one to... The map maker is really, really good. Yeah, okay, it doesn't really tell us much there. Let's quit that one out. The yeah, the map maker doesn't. I might just show the game actually. I might just start her up, because there is a lot again to like about this one. And again, it's as much the community as it is the game itself with this one here. Yeah, so Dave Fleet's saying Second Front needs a random battle system. Yes, I agree with 100%. I've been asking for this for ever since it first came out. If it had that, this would be an incredibly good game. But this, if you're not sure if you want to get into wargaming or not, like if looking at big war games looks daunting, this is about as entry level as you're going to get. With actually playing like Second Front, it doesn't feel like a war game when you play it, but at its core it actually is. It's a very, very pure war game, which is why often they don't do random maps for these sorts of games. But yeah, I would love a random map. They do have some randomization in the game. Looks like it's struggling here. Oh, there we go, just wait for it. So now where is that one? So I like the review. The tutorials suck. Yeah. You start out with a chimpanzee with a stick and progress to hover max. The low amount of out gameplay is not encouraging. So is that back for from the depths? Yeah, I don't know actually. I'm not sure how that one then works. Second Front needs a random system. We did that one. I'm waiting for an infection-free zone. I'm not sure what that is. So night is coming. So Derner is saying, I haven't seen a grid system simulate elevation so well since SimCity 2000. As in, do you mean with Second Front? It is good. Help please, which game is it? There's no title screen, and I'm only paying half attention. Oh, this is Second Front, if we're looking at that one. Or do you mean the one with all the mechs and stuff? That was From the Depths, is that one through there, if that's what you mean. This one's Second Front. So, right, so we've got, you got sort of, for example, there's a lot of different things. This is a little bit, like you've got things where you can make your own scenarios, but it just doesn't have a random map maker. And that really does, it's screaming for it. It's absolutely screaming for it. But it is it's more of a puzzle type war game, if you know what I mean. So it really is more things to sort of set up. There is some randomization. If we go and play it, you do actually have... So this is skirmishes. If we go to campaigns, I'm not seeing the other campaigns. Like you did mention there was an extra one, but I'm not seeing it there. So I'm not sure. But it's Commonwealth, not so much not so much just British. So as a member of the Commonwealth, I take offence at that. So they've got like different sort of styles of playing in through here. So starting off in desert, then ending up in Europe, back in through this other side. But these are again, they're cool little games, and there is actually a lot of stuff online, I think now. So I haven't had a look for a little while. So you've got like tank tutorials and infantry tutorials, the different ones in through there. You can actually just click that to unlock the whole lot if you're wanting to, which is probably a good idea actually, rather than having to unlock these. Although it does give you that progression as you go through. So you've now got German forces against the Commonwealth. Okay, so that's actually, these are still only scenarios. Actually, if you go to campaign, no, the campaign is just the campaign. I thought it may have, yeah, I'm not sure where the actual other campaign shows up. So Michael's saying, wouldn't mind seeing more of the second front. It looks, yeah, I do want to, I'm meaning to actually go and, so ZXM is saying, for the Flaming Jester hoodie needs a black colour option. Yeah, I've tried to limit those colours because I found that when I put too many colour options into things, it doesn't sell. They don't sell well. Not that they're selling well at the moment, anyway. But yeah, no, it's interesting. So yeah, the Microphone logo gives me Civ 2 nostalgia. Weren't they? They had some great games back in the 90s. It's and they've got some great games coming up as well. There's some really, really good ones. There's more actually of theirs. There's coming very, very soon actually as well. Anyway, this is actually the second front game. This if you're wanting any sort of entry level war game, this will at least let you know. If you play this game, you'll then know if you want to get into wargaming or not. It's sort of still got hexes, but at least you've got the 3D graphics on top. And so it's done pretty well. You do actually have the Steam Workshop, and there is a lot in here as well that people have actually sort of then designated or designed so that you can actually download heaps and heaps of different scenarios there from different people. You can sort of see what people are, how they're rating them as well. So you can certainly sort of do a lot in through this other side. Got the different pages. So there's just heaps and heaps. That's page 9. Yeah, it's just heaps. These haven't really been rated yet. So this is sorting by votes. Newest trending. I don't know what the trending one would be. Going to church. So this one here is, you got Supercharged Kiwi. So you got New Zealand. So this one would be like a New Zealand game. What else you got? You got the British. You've got the Canadians going up to this one through here. It's cool. And so these are all the new ones that have come into for free into the game. So these are sort of trending. They're sort of, people are playing them and enjoying them, which is good. So anyway, there's different. And again, this is a nice way of presenting the stuff. It's just sort of stuff that I think that Stardock needs to do something a bit like this for Gal Civ, to be honest. Mike's saying, I see references to advanced squad leader scenarios, which is, so a good way to get to know ASL. Yeah, it very much so. It certainly feels like that, like the advanced squad leader stuff. So it's got that sort of vibe about it, and it is purely like ASL. It is essentially a squad-based war game. And so it's a great way to get into even to see if you actually like wargaming. But then anyway, that's Second Front. So that's one of the Microprose games. It's coming out very, very soon. There is another one that's not actually in my little list at the top, but I did put a video out about it this week as well. Just see if I can see it there. No, that's the end of it. Oh, this is something I'll talk about. Actually, I'll talk about the other one first. So I'll just go back and find where I've got that. Yeah, Arms Trade Tycoon tanks. This is really surprising. I did put out a video about it because it was something that it's really, really interesting. It's funny, you can just see that Tortuga there, has played just a few hours recently. He's actually been putting up a series as well. Tortuga's the one who actually told me about it, and he told actually. Battle Mode was in the same discussion actually at the time because we were talking about Microprose, and I think it may have even been on an Explorminate podcast. And this is a couple of years ago, I think now. And Tortuga said, "Oh, there's this game coming out, Arms Trade Tycoon tanks." And I thought, it just sounds like a Tycoon game. I'm not really all that interested. But it really is fascinating. Really, really fascinating the depth of what this game has actually got. It's not just a matter of, it's not just buying and selling things. You actually are thinking through actual requirements for different tanks as you sort of build them. Yeah, Cass not saying Arms Trade Tycoon looks pretty good. Enjoyed the tutorial you put up. Yeah, it's something I was really blown away by. And I was looking for it, and because of what Tutu had said, like, you know, as I say, a couple of years ago, because it really, like, he was raving about it, and it's worthy of that sort of praise, because it's and it's getting better and better. So I only just played it very, very recently. So, but this is actually a game that I've got the press build there now. When does that one come? When does that one come? 6th of February. So that's coming in a couple of weeks' time. So we'll have a look at that again in a couple of weeks' time. So, but that is a really, really good game. So many different aspects to it. I was trying to cover it in one video, and it ended up being 2 hours of recording, because there's just so much in it. It simulates wars like randomly around the world. You then got to have contracts that you then go and supply your tanks into those particular areas. It's really, really well done, like incredibly well done. So it should just get better and better as well, even though it's sort of coming into its. I think it's launching into early access. It's saying early access game there, but you can't get it yet. So all you can do is wish list, I think. Yeah, add to wish list. So it's going to be an early access game, and that will be good, I think. But it's very, very cool, and it's been in the closed beta for quite some time. People have been able to sort of show it over the last 6 months or so. But the new version, I did notice that the difference between the version I'm playing and the version that even just a few weeks ago is there's more stuff on the actual world map than what was there before. It's a really cool game. The actual I thought it was going to be one where you drive around and then do different sorts of attacks. It's not so much that, to be honest. The actual battles themselves tend to be more simulated, but it's a very impressive game. Actually, this one does. I'll go back to the other one because it's bigger. Oh, have I closed that down already? Looks like I've closed it down. Sorry, guys. I'll just go and open up my Firefox again. And I'll better just get back into here as well. And go live. Just make sure that it's all still going. I'm assuming it's still going. Yep, that's okay. Yep, that's cool. So that one's in there. I must have closed this down accidentally. So if I just go move to bookmarks, games, Steam. No, different Steam. That's all I want. Steam powered. And Arms Trade Tycoon tanks. There it is. So no user review yet because it's not open to the public, but look out for this one. It's coming very, very soon. And we'll have a look at at what it does say about what it actually does do, because it's there's a lot to like about it. So you've essentially the way it sort of starts off, and this is a good way of sort of summarizing the steps. The game loop is actually quite intricate but easy to understand because it's sort of intuitive. And so essentially does it mention there that it's not a tycoon. It's much more than a tycoon game. Much more. There is a tycoon aspect to it, but it's much the designing aspect as well, and then the testing and all that sort of stuff as well, and then the battle system. So you got your tank design where you're sort of putting a tank together with all different sorts of components and parts. It's when I first saw it, I thought it was going to be like one of those things where I forget what they're called, like where you put together like heavy equipment, and all you're doing is they're just simulating sort of like using a wrench on different bits and pieces around and putting one thing together, and they may have like 4 or 5 different pieces of equipment where you can put all the bits and pieces in. I don't like those games, to be honest. So I've had the developers of those giving the farm simulator, I think, was one. which people did like because it was pretty interesting because it did other things. But there's other ones, not Farm Simulator, but there's other ones where it's only the building of the heavy equipment. And I think it was like Mining Simulator or something. It's sort of one of those things where I thought it sounded interesting, but then it wasn't. And this game I thought was going to be the same sort of deal, but it's actually not. You actually go through and actually you finesse all the componentry. And so you've got like the tank design in through there. You've got the engineering where you actually engineer the specific parts in different ways. And so that's actually pretty cool. Like it tends to look the same, but there's all these little things that you add on to it. The tank schools as well, like the so you've essentially got like different requirements for different countries. They have different things that they need out of the different tanks, and so you then go across. You've also got these different paths where you go from World War One up through the actual eras as well. So I didn't break out of the first era. I haven't seen anyone break out of the first era at all yet. Battlefield simulation back and through here. So you observe your tanks perform in all the major historical conflicts. Now it says historical. They're not, which is actually good. They're random conflicts across time where the different tanks then have to go in and do different things. But I haven't seen this. Then we've got the company itself. This is the Tycoon aspect where you're sort of buying and selling resources, building your tanks up, trade and negotiation. So this one is, so you're trying to then get contracts. And again, this is interesting because you're trying to, you've got to have a tank designed and ready to go pretty much and hope that the market is what the market needs and wants. This is the world map, which is very, very cool. It doesn't show enough of this one, but the actual combat is done on the world map and then simulated. So even this doesn't do the game justice. It's actually much, much bigger than what it looks like. So anyway, look out for that one. That is coming. So this is saying it looks like it has modern battle tanks. So yeah, the main battle tanks. The yes, it will, like in the different tiers. And when you start the game, you're in tier 1 in 1914, and then you have to sort of slowly move up through the different tiers. So each tier has its own set of tank designs, and you essentially go through like a research tree that then takes you through from tier to tier, and then you can start building tanks of the next era. And so there's, I don't know how many eras there actually are, but it looks like from what we saw there was what was it, about 5 or 6? Where was it? This one here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It may be that second one there, that may be still part of tier 1. So it may be 3 tiers, maybe at least 3, maybe up to 4 or 5. I'm not sure, but that's all to do with the actual, as the technology changes, you are then researching different things, and then you sort of get to make it however you want to actually make it. I'm saying Dad's making me a war criminal with this amazing game. Yeah, it's one of those things where I was going to try to play it where I tried to play it with the worst possible tank, selling it as cheaply as I possibly could and still try to make it viable. The Tycoon aspect is quite fun as well. You can like, yeah, it's a very, very intricate and interesting game. Intricate in a good way, as in you can actually really get in depth with it, or you can play it very superficially. You can do it either way and still have fun with the game. So it's actually it's a very, very cool game. Anyway, that one is coming. Let's go back to my actual Steam library. So anyway, that's Arms Trade Tycoon tanks. Let's go back into the library again. And the last thing I do want to point out, this is actually really cool. This is Rule the Waves 3 History Series. They've only put out episode 1 at the moment. But if you haven't seen this, that doesn't matter if you play the game or not. But if you haven't seen this is actually really, really interesting. And if you don't know, there's a naval historian called Drakenfell, or Drac, on YouTube. Amazing content, absolutely amazing content. Anyway, he does the voiceover for this. So I'm assuming he must have done the writing as well. He wouldn't have just done the voiceover. But it's a really nice presentation. I might just show it actually, because it's special thanks to Drakenfell for lending his voice to the project. He is the go-to for ships of this era. Let's have a look and see.
In the late 19th century, technological advances were changing the face of naval warfare. Smokeless gunpowder, breech-loading cannons, and telescopic sights allowed for increasingly accurate and devastating naval gunfire. Harvey and Krupp armor allowed warships to be protected like never before. The steam engine and the water tube boiler allowed battleships to sprint at speeds of up to 18 knots. And the telegraph allowed fleets to coordinate on a global scale. From 1890 to 1905, the age of the battleship had truly dawned. The design of most battleships among the great naval powers like Britain, Germany, Russia, France and Japan tended to conform to a similar style. A battleship would have two main turrets, one fore and one aft, with two main guns, usually 11 or 12 inches in diameter. She would also have a secondary battery of smaller, quick-firing guns to ward off lighter ships. Battleships had thick armoured belts to protect against shell impacts, and to mass their fire, battleships would sail in a line of battle formation and try to fight side on to the enemy. The destroyer was a new, small class of vessel that threatened these larger ships. Armed with torpedoes, a destroyer could strike a battleship below the waterline, bypassing the thick armoured belt and crippling or sinking the ship with a single blow. Destroyers also mounted small guns to fight against enemy destroyers and torpedo boats, but they had almost no armour and had to rely on being nimble and quick to escape danger. And finally, the cruiser bridged the gap between battleships and destroyers. Cruisers might patrol colonial waters and raid enemy shipping alone, or as part of an independent squadron. They could also operate in a scouting or screening force as part of a fleet. It all depended on how they were designed and what role the admiral needed.
I won't play the whole thing, but that's
cruisers with the flexible.
It's really interesting, and it's compressed. Normally, this is like under 3 minutes to go through the whole thing. I thought, I won't play the whole lot, but it goes through very succinctly, like the history of the start of the Rule the Waves 3 era, and sort of like how you then sort of looking at the different sorts of ships. It's such a good introduction into the game, but also into the history of that era, and it's something that I find really, really interesting. And so, it's just personally, I can watch Drakenfell videos all day long. I just really, really enjoy them. But they typically take over an hour, where he'll do a 1.5 hour video on a boiler on one battleship, and he gets so into it. It's really, really amazing. So he's actually So anyway, he's did the voice of that particular one, but it's very nicely done. Like the actual presentation, and this is going to be a series of. They're putting out a series of these, and I can't wait to see them, because this is I guess a little quick aspect about that era, combining with the game itself. Does a good job of just, I think. I mean, it's there to promote the game, of course, but it's actually it does more than that. It actually does promote the history of naval warfare through that particular era, which I think is really, really cool. So anyway, that's look out for those. That's from the Matrix Games channel. And they'll be. I don't know how often they'll be coming up, but I'll certainly be. I'm looking out for them. That's something that is. Something that I'm going to enjoy, I think, because I thought that was really, really well done. So I just wanted to highlight that one. It's just a nice. For quick content. It's done incredibly well. Anyway, I won't keep on raving about it, but that's where we are with that one. That's where I think I made my mistake last time with deleting things. So anyway, that's just coming in the back there. There's been other ones this week. What else is there? Distant Worlds 2 has had a big update. Will it have it in the news? Maybe not. Major update. That was back in November, but it had another one. It's not maybe it's not an actual. Just go back to the community hub. I thought that that they had mentioned this. Yeah, the public beta is the one, I think. This is 12.02. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, this one actually came on January the 18th, so changes in 1.2.02. So just a few days ago. So a lot of other sort of like little crash fixes, research and ship design preferences, fleet behavior is still getting tweaked, colonies fixing an issue, yeah, so again, bug fixing. Then the 11th as well. So there's more and more changes coming to it. But this is a major name, like the fact that it went to version 1.2.0.0 usually means that it's major. Something major has happened. Yeah, they changed the way that pirates worked. Anyway, there's a lot of changes that are coming in this game as well. The last one before that was in November. So yeah, they've sort of tweaked a lot just in this last week with with Distant Worlds 2. So look out for that one as well. So that's I'm not sure if this is another weird thing I'm finding really weird is just go and have another quick look at this one here. Just the actual the ratings on this game have like it's such a good game, but it just doesn't rate. If you just go back to the store page and have a look, it's got actually it was actually poor reviews. 44% of the 18 reviews in the past, only 44%. That's really bad for what this one actually is. Like it started just under 70%. It's now 70%. These mixed reviews, there's not very many of them, of course. We've got 2,000, reasonable reviews. The game did launch with some problems, but it's I still think it's one of the best games, out there really to actually play personally. So again, I'm a fanboy. I do love it. If we go back down, actually there is. Again, I'm trying to think where the there's the graph. There's the graph. Yes, this one shows the recent reviews. So just before Christmas, we had a couple of negatives. We're getting some more positive reviews now coming back through. So I'm guessing that there's 3 reviews that will disappear off that one. It's not really making much difference. If we go back to the prior areas, it will then sort of show different zones in through there. These are actually just going to get the reviews in through this other side. Maybe just this little area in here. What are the negative reviews over this? Actually, I'll just go back to the area it's actually showing. I mean, it's hardly any. It's not really a lot of people sort of putting reviews in there. Again, the negative reviews are often good if they've been well considered. See, 26 hours on record is a lot of time. So this should be an interesting read. 20 hours on record as well. Too many crashes, too many features that flatly don't work. See, I don't find that. So again, it's probably a system, like something going on with the system. Yep. So again, downloaded the game, but so now the game will not launch from Steam. I've never had that problem. So this is just frustration talking. What about this one here? This one does look interesting because that's a lot of time. We'll look at some of the other negative reviews and say that I'm struggling to find the game part of Distant Worlds 2. My only meaningful interactions with the game seem to be setting up tech research and upgrading ships to use said tech. Perhaps if I were to reduce the amount of automation, I'd have more to do. But I feel it just creates more chores rather than engaging gameplay. It's a shame since the whole private sector part of the game is oddly fascinating to me. It creates a real space empire management feeling that other games in the genre lack. There's potential here, and I will keep an eye on the ongoing development. But ultimately, it's hard to recommend a game where I spend most of my time waiting for something to happen. See, that's funny because that's why I like the game. It's sort of, for me, it's almost like Conway's Game of Life to a portion of it, and I respect that the game does that because it's a simulation game. It's not actually it's not a board game like Solaris and Galciv. Galactic Civilizations are all based, they're board game style games. Interstellar Space Genesis is a board game style game, and so you're used to playing turn by turn, doing something and it being meaningful every single turn. But when you play a simulation game, all you're doing is you're watching stuff happen and you're injecting yourself when you think you need to. And so it's a different mindset. And I think that's the key. I say this a lot whenever I do a video on Distant Worlds 2, because I have noticed that this is actually a very common thread of people going from a game like Stellaris or Gal Civ and going to Distant Worlds and then going in with the same mindset of it being a real-time or even just a standard real-time experience where I need to rush and do everything I possibly can do to get anything to actually get anything out of the game. So it's one of those things where instead of approaching it that way, you have to step back and say this is a simulation of a space empire, and you can put yourself anywhere you like in the middle of it. You can have it so that you do absolutely nothing, and that's fascinating to watch it do that as well. I find that fascinating. I do like those games. I used to actually have a Conway's Game of Life screensaver, and I used to enjoy it. Like if I was having lunch or something, I'd just put the screensaver on and just watch and see who won. and Distant Worlds 2 is very much like that as well. Like there's so much that just is going on behind the scenes. I just love it. So for me, that aspect is actually a selling point. But I do get that for a lot of people, it's such a disconnect for the way that they play games that it's a negative. And I think that's why a lot of these will be like, there's certainly the crashes aspect. I haven't seen that. Like I have had crashes in the past, but not anything like what people experienced. What else is negative in through here? 271 hours on record. This is actually this is a lot of time. And so it's the same game with better graphics and fewer features. So I'm not paying for your bare minimum effort DLC that is available in the first beta game. Yeah, so this is actually another fairly common thought. Basically, that the original game launched with all of the factions already there day one, and so there was nothing that was no other factions were added in. Actually, no, yeah, there were the Shakturia were added afterwards, but for all intensive purposes, there's a lot less factions at the start, and I did struggle with this. I thought this was going to be even a bigger problem than what it ended up being for the game, because it's only launched with only seven factions. It's now getting more through the DLC, but putting them together is a big task. Whereas putting it and it's Eric Ruten's one of the developers had mentioned that to build a faction in Distant Worlds 1 was 1 day's work for one person, and so putting together like the 20-odd factions that they had was less than a month's work. to put it together now, to put a one faction together for Distant Worlds 2 is a month's work for a developer, or actually for a team of developers, because you need to have the graphics, you need to have all these different sorts of things going into it, and so it's essentially ends up being it's completely different because of the way the game is actually now set up in the 3D environment. So it is got better graphics, but with that has meant that we no longer have the simple sprite. Imagine actually trying to do Dominions as a 3D game. It would never ever get built. It just couldn't get built. Dwarf Fortress as well. I'm surprised. That's one of the things. If we're going to look at that, won't we? The Dwarf Fortress reviews, because we can actually look at those. And so what actually happens with those is we end up with this situation where where they just can't afford to build all the factions. But that, I think, is also partly on the development decisions they made. They should never have gone into getting the animated characters. They should have bypassed that completely and just gone with flat ping characters. It would have simplified what they do so much. They don't need the animated stuff, and that would have saved them not a hell of a lot of time, because they still got to build all the ships. But it would have allowed modders a chance to build things in there, which it's starting to happen a little bit now, but not very much. So it's interesting the way it sort of does work. So Sean Parsons saying, have you ever played RimWorld? Yeah, incredible game actually at RimWorld. It was one of those games I got in really, really early on RimWorld. The only way you could get it back when I got it was you had to, there was not an FTP link, but it was an FTP. You got emailed the link to the next version of the game, and that's how it was originally came out. So I was in there right from the very, very start with RimWorld, and it's one of those games I love the idea of it. I don't play enough of it, but I do love the idea of it. I'll just go back up a little bit further. Ragnar saying Distant Worlds 2 beta patch has some issues at the moment. I have played it, but I haven't had any problems with it. Okay, so ZXM is saying, how's that Fantasy Commander on your list? It has a neat picture. I had a look at it. It's scripted, I think, from memory, so it's not really something. I'll have a look at it, but it's probably not something I'm not going to spend much time with it if it's all scripted. So that's something that I probably won't have a close look at. Actually, no, I do remember now. I did actually get back to them. Let's talk about that. I'll talk about that in just a minute. If I forget again, just call me up on it. Okay, your Lord Justice is saying, I have to admit that I was a fan of Distant Worlds 2 when it was in making, but now I'm kind of disappointed compared to Distant Worlds. I don't know why, but I'm not able to hook to Distant Worlds 2 as I was able to instantly in Distant Worlds 1, Distant Worlds Universe. I think that's the key, instantly. That's the thing. If you picked up Distant Worlds 1 when it was first built, it's not that dissimilar in terms of the actual gaming experience, in terms of the way that the universe played. The thing with Distant Worlds 1 that I think we all forget is that Distant Worlds 1 was exceptional because it was the first of its kind when it first came out. And then it got better and better and better. Like you had the pirate DLC came. You had all these other DLCs that enhanced the game dramatically over time. You also had an incredible modding community that was actually putting together, as I say, one day to do a faction. Like you had like Harry, for example, one of the modders who put together the incredible mod of all these other different new factions. And so I think that you forget, like I know I do, you forget that it went through a whole series of year upon year of progression to get to Distant Worlds Universe. But when it first launched, it was nowhere near like what it was. It ended up where it was. And I think that Distant Worlds 2 will end up there as well. So I actually feel I know it's just exactly what you're saying, because it doesn't have the same depth of the actual universe that Distant Worlds 1 had. It does tend to play pretty much the same way in Distant Worlds 2 every time you play it to a certain degree, and so you end up having something where there's no real big surprises. I think that they will come. I'm hopeful that they will come. So yeah, I know what you're saying, but Distant Worlds 1 was like that as well when it first launched. I mean, if you got it after the pirate update, I think it by that stage it was playing very, very uniquely, and they haven't done the pirate update for Distant Worlds 2 yet. So expect a lot of new things, I think. Okay, so ZXM is saying, I love it. My review is very positive. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And Radigar is saying Distant Worlds 2 ruined Stellaris for me. I prefer the simulation type game, to be honest. That's my personal preference. And ZXM is saying 40 hours in and no crashes. And Tasna is saying, haven't had a Distant Worlds 2 crash in 3 or 4 months. Yeah, I haven't had one for ages. Radigar is saying 600 hours with maybe 4 or 5 crashes. It's not much. But some people are really having a hard time. Like, I'm not going to diminish that at all. They're saying generally people are pretty serious when they leave a negative review on Steam. I've done it in the past, and you get pushback from other players and even the devs. You shouldn't be. It should be one of those things. That's why I like reading them, because they generally give you a very good insight as to the mindset of the person leaving the review. And as you say, they normally are meaningful, and so I use it to disqualify myself from a game. Like I find them so much more valuable than a positive review. Positive review is all hype, but a negative review, you can think, is that something that would bother me or not? And if it's and I mean, some of the reviews you read, you think, oh, they haven't played it long enough. That's why I like to sort of see something like with this one through here, like 271 hours. That's a lot of time. So even though it's not very much in there, it's but I know the reason for that. So I'm giving the devs a pass on that one because I know the reason, but I can see why people would think that. Okay, Bubik is saying, I've played 253 hours of Distant Worlds 2 and haven't experienced a crash or slowdown since maybe June. Yeah, it's been very, very good. There was actually a period in between there where there was an update that they brought out that wasn't as optimized, and it did slow the game down a little bit, but they've now fixed that one up as well. Now where did we get up to? So yeah, RimWorld is on a smaller scale than Dwarf Fortress, so it's possible to do it in 3D, as shown on the rise of the colony sim genre. So Dwarf Fortress has more city builder elements, but Dwarf Fortress, like this one that they're bringing out in April, is they've got a lot of work that they're doing on the different characters, because they're all random as well, but they match the descriptions. Sorry, Alex is saying, have you played World Box? It's basically just a more complex game of life, but with yeah, it's really cool, that one. I love that one. I was going to start to do almost like a regular game of that and just record it and just upload it, maybe once a month or something, and or even once a week. But whenever I do a world box video, no one watches it. It's really people. It's probably just too boring. But I really like it. I really that's it. That is a game of life game. Yeah, so Casanova saying the next expansion of Distant Worlds 2 will help, brings back the Shakturi with end gameplay. I don't think that will. I think until they actually do the proper pirates, it's the early mid game that's the problem, not the end game. The early mid game needs a lot of work, I think, and a lot of attention. So I think that the Shakturi expansion is not the right one to bring out now. Personally, I think it's actually not going to help. And so Redigar saying, I can't wait for the Crisis expansion. I'd like to see more exploration events too. Yes. Yeah, I think so. The exploration events and bringing different things into the game will then make the game interesting. Lord just is saying, I know and I'm buying DLC to support and hope for the best. My only big fear is that the problem may be in 3D design or something in UI. Constructed in different way compared to Distant Worlds universe. The 3D aspect has certainly made the game much more complex. But the team doing it really, they've done a great job of what they're doing. It's just a big project, a massively big project. And Derna's saying with Steam, you want to give the game a chance, but you also don't want to disqualify yourself for a refund. Yeah, that's true. That is true. It's sort of one of those things. Let's have a look at at Dwarf Fortress and have a look at its run at the start and see how it actually performed. In terms of we get a bit of a feel, but it's a bit hard to sort of see. I can move this thing into different areas. That's mainly only going to give reviews, unfortunately. Yeah, I guess it does give a little bit of a summary as to what's going on there. Let's just go back across to Dwarf Fortress. And another thing that would be interesting with Dwarf Fortress, I'll go back to the other one as well. Just go and grab it there. Just pause that one, and we'll just go back to Steam charts. Now, of course, this is a monster of a game. When it launched, it's still at 93. Actually, I thought it was going down. But that's actually still really high. In fact, is it even more than that? Yeah, 95 is what it actually is. Let's go to the charts for this one. Charts, there we go. So if we go back to the start, yeah, that's the... Yeah, actually, I'm guessing. I was sort of having a look to see what I thought was with the launch of it. In comparison to, of course, a lot more players playing Dwarf Fortress. It's a popular game. I was just trying to see, Dominions has had 1 week, and if we have a look at these before it starts to diminish, you can see there's not very many players now in comparison, but it does take a while for it to diminish. So this is sort of and this one did go from 6th, so 1 week in, they had their most players ever, 28,000. Then they sort of, by, what's that one, another week in, they're getting another little spike. And then it's just a gradual decline as it goes back down to the sort of bottom here, where they're still regularly getting 3,000 players back at that period. If we just go back to the back end of it. And just scoot this one up as well. Yes, we're down to about 2,000 players now, and then we're dripping into. I think that's probably across the different times. This would be days, and this would be actual the hours of just that last little portion. Yes, we're sort of getting that same cycle, and again the same dip at 10 UTC. So at the moment, it's doing about the same numbers as Dominions, at this point in time. But this will get another big kick along in April when that one sort of does come up. And if we have a quick look back at the graphs in here, show the graph. So we're getting, so this is now very positive. Like there's still actually, there's a fair few negative reviews coming through. And I think if we take that portion and have a look at it, we should see a fairly consistent, oh, hang on, that's only doing it. So showing overwhelmingly positive in through there. What about just little areas in through here? Very positive. So even like at the back end here, it's just really showing just very positive. And so this is 91%, which is still good, still really good. 92%, just take a little sampling back in through here somewhere. 86%. So it's consistently around that sort of level, 87%. But at the start, when all of us fanboys were getting into it, it was overwhelmingly positive at 96%. So I think that this gives you a fairer indication, I think, of like, you know, around about 90% would be about right. And this last little portion, what is that one operating as? Yeah, 90%. Yeah, I think that's fair for Dwarf Fortress. It certainly started off where like everyone who loves the game was giving it a rave review on the actual launch day itself. Like if we go back to this here little area and have a look at it, did anyone leave a negative review? Actually, we can't see it, unfortunately. We can't see it in this one here. Anyway, that's it is interesting. But yeah, 10,000 reviews basically in the first few days. And that's set the tone for everything to do with this game ever since. So that was fairly interesting. So where is it? Sorry, just to go back through. ZXM is saying, I usually disqualify myself from the refund by waiting 6 months to play something, unless it's something I'm dying to play when I buy it. Yeah. Right, I'm off. Joy Marbles, everyone, says, thanks, Sorbicol. Caston's saying, it'll spike again when the new game mode comes out in April. Yeah, it will. Not as much, I don't think. Only by games I'm dying to play, says Michael. Yeah, I understand that. There's so many games coming out. I feel like I've forgotten a few, actually. I should have actually had a list of those that are coming. Actually, we can look at the... No, I won't bother doing that one. I don't think we'll bother with that one. Elfin saying, good evening, Daz. Really enjoying your Dominion 6 videos. I've been wondering what your favourite Dom 6 nation is at this time. Oh, I still gravitate back to factions like the Giants, the Frost Giants and things like that. Like, so I do like Jotunheim. I just like the idea of it. And I don't know, like I wouldn't call them my favourite, but I do gravitate there a lot. It's just a really, really cool game. So, and have I played Crusader Kings 3? Yes, I have. Yeah, I have. But I don't know, like I wasn't inspired by Crusader Kings 3. I was the first few days, but then I lost interest in it. And it'll be interesting to sort of probably have another look at that maybe when Kingdoms comes out, when Field of Glory Kingdoms. That's going to be interesting as well, because that's also, I don't think we have a date on that one either. I'm not sure when that one's due to come. But that's this year. It should be early this year too, actually. Actually, there are a lot of games coming up soonish. Like we've got Master of Magic, we've got the Headquarters. Headquarters looks really good. Headquarters World War II. Yeah, only says coming soon. So we don't know when that one's coming, but there's some good ones in there. Anyway, I guess we'll do the marble run. We've certainly gone well over normal time, so let's get that sorted. We'll just leave that one where that is. And time for marbles on stream. So what I'll do is, just while I'm setting that up, I'm just going to get you guys to come on in. Now, hopefully Nightbot's going to work. Just log in. Yeah, actually a week ago I got hacked on Twitch, and so Nightbot and all those things were sort of taken off Twitch. I got it back very, very quickly. I've got to say, the Twitch support was extremely fast, and again, like YouTube was as well. I was really surprised at just how quickly they sort of brought it all back. But it was, really got to say that was impressive. And I'll also preface that and sort of say that one of the big things with them actually coming back and getting my channel back, I really was not thinking that was going to happen. I've been hacked so many times this last 6 months or so, last 4 months. Like started with YouTube, and then it's just a few other little things have happened, like Discord. Discord was the most frustrating of everything. That took 6 weeks to get Discord back. That's ridiculous. And Twitch as well. Like Twitch, I thought I was going to be in for weeks of pain with that one, but because they've actually laid off a lot of people on Twitch, and so anyway, I do want to give a shout out to the people at Twitch for or the support at Twitch for being able to sort of act so quickly. That was very, very cool what they actually did. So we've got the dashboard in through here. What we'll do is we'll go and go to giveaways, which is not a giveaway. We're not giving anything away today. Keyword is going to be just win. So if you just type the word win in the chat, I can then put you into the actual list, into the game itself. Okay, so Elvin can say CK3 has a lot of new cool stuff, but I have Europe map fatigue. Amazing mods though. Yeah, look, Field of Glory Kingdoms. So didn't they say first quarter for Field of Glory Kingdoms? Yeah, I thought it was early. Castanar. Yeah, so there's no direct date, but it will be coming. So get your wins in. I'll just grab myself a quick drink of water. Be right back. So Steve's saying, yes, no giveaway. I have a chance of winning marbles at last, yes. Well, it's going to be a Grand Prix, and we've got our point system working properly this time. So it's all happening. All right, we'll just go back in. I'll just get everything else set up. Sublime text. Is fine. File open recent. I think I've been opening a lot of stuff, all Dominion stuff. Does it have it? Does it have it? No, it doesn't. Okay, I'm going to have to go back in and find where I've put them. Yeah, I don't actually have anything in there, so I'm going to have to go and open up where I've placed it, and I've forgotten where I've actually put that list. I think it's in here. God, I just I hardly ever need to go through it, but I've been doing all my modding stuff. It won't be there. Okay, so it's not there. Maybe under ChatTactic. Sorry guys, I've completely nope, not under that one. Docs, please be here. There we go. That's the CSV. I'm pretty sure that's the one. Yeah, that was actually just from a couple of weeks ago. I think that was the one. Open with, here, I'll just do this one with Sublime Text. Yeah, there we go. All right, delete all of those. So, let's go back into here. So we've got, how many have we got in here? 22. All right, so Joshua is the last one that we had in the list. Throw this one in the top. So we've got 22 names this time, nothing else, that's good. We want to go and get this one. Let's just go Control C, find and replace. And we want to just replace it with an enter. Hope that didn't work. Someone did mention the other day that there's a different way you could do it. So Bubicus, are you in there? Okay, you're in there. Okay, so you're not too late. Okay, you're the last one in, so 23. Because we're not winning anything, I'll put myself in as well. Do a save. There we go. So we've got 24. So good luck, everyone. So yep. So Bubika's just made it in. Oh no, we're loading in more content, new maps. New maps. It shouldn't take too long. I forgot that. I normally actually make sure that everything is, because it updates all the time. So I normally make sure I've got it updated before it comes in. Sorry, this is going to take a bit of time. Didn't come in because I thought it was too late. So the best of luck. So you can get in as well, the money area, if you want to be in. I can certainly add you. In fact, we can do it while this is loading in. I'll just go and copy your name in. If there's anyone else that wants to get in, just sing out. So we've got. I'll just leave that open there for a little while. So you're stuck in the word Slack, and I missed the initial call for players. No, just to look, if anyone's out there and wants to is coming in late, just sing out. If you're not actually in the list, we've got 25 in the race at this stage. Always room for more, bragging rights and all that sort of stuff. Let's have a quick look and see how we're going here. So we're up to 30%. There's a lot. This is a big update. Normally it's much faster than this. Voodoo Dog, are you in there? There we go, 26. So we've got Tenru as well. Hang on, not Tent. There we are. And Broccoli Rubino. Okay, we'll grab you as well. There's a few more coming in. Okay, that's cool. Let's go and grab that one. Now, AS Russell. No, sorry, Russell Goff. There we go. I thought there was. Can I have a second marble run? Well, if you're Russell Goff, yes, you are. You can. If you've logged in twice on different devices. Sithel as well. That's cool. Okay, we're getting more and more. And we're still just waiting for to download. So we've now got 30. Okay, so that's all good. Just do a quick save. So up to 30 names. Still coming in, 68%. We've still got time if anyone else wants to jump in. I can still add you to the list. Then you can do it in through there. There's Jack. That's good. $31 at this stage. Oh, there we go. Schleichel in 81. 30. Yeah, 30, we've got 32 now. I'm just going to Control V. We just put it ahead of Jack's there. That's all good. Okay, we'll save that group. Now, how are we going? Looks like we're 90%. Still time for one or two more if you want to jump in before we get started. It's too late once we get started. Or pretty much until I get the first screen done. And then we're okay. So 32, that's a good number. Now it should load. And that is saved, that's fine. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I have to warn you all, I've been training the new map, says Miguel. Oh, Voxter, you're in late. I can still change it. I can still change it. Voxter, did I get in? Yes, you did. Okay, so you're in. Let's go in. Okay, so 33 is what we're going to have. So we'll just go back across. And we go into the race. It's going to be a Grand Prix. We're going to play 4 maps. And we're going to change this to 33 players. And we're going to be playing with bots. So go to race settings, add names, we clear our old list, open the new list. And that should get down to Voxter at the end. Yeah, there we go. So good luck everyone. So that's done. Keep your finger on the W to keep moving forward. Yes. Or is it Alt F4? So we've got everyone there. So we'll just go and finish that one. That's all good. You can close that one through there. So we've got the we've got the bots. Yeah, so it's going to be a bots race because we're not actually. This is a Twitch game actually. Jump the spacebar. There we go. Says Miguel. Yeah, I'll try to avoid the getting thrown off the map. So let's start the quick GP. Good luck, everyone, and we'll see how we go. Here we go. So what's this first one called? This is Space Chase. Interesting. All right, let's start the race. So everyone's going out through this long loop, and then straight through the center area. Who's going to get there first? Around you go, guys. Around you go. Who's going to be the first one down? Oh, there we go. Okay, it was a Castanar, I think. Just go across ourselves. We'll just go and watch the proceedings. Oops, on the wrong side. So Steve, Toyne, Joshua down the other side. So we've got, so it's a Dumison, CB. Oh, we're losing people left, right and centre. A lot of people are actually getting thrown off at that back area. Voxter's at the back there. Will he get through? I don't know. But Steve's out in front. So we lost a lot back there. We're going to lose a lot down in here as well, by the way. So there's going to be... so Steve's the first one in. Dumison, and me as well. What's going to happen here? This will be interesting to see who gets thrown off at this point. So the first one coming through is me. There we go, straight through, and made it through safely. Steve, Dumison coming back in as well. Everyone else is jumping through. Actually, this one doesn't push you off. This one does. Who's going to get pushed off here? Whoa, there we go. There goes Steve. And gone. So goodbye, Steve. Dumison's out in front now. Going down into the next loop. The others are all going to get thrown up in the air as well. No one else got thrown up. That was interesting. Okay, so just a few. Sithel and Jack Timberlake now coming back through. So they're going to be the first one. So it is Jack just in front of Sithel. Mike Gillespie coming in next. Dumison coming in after him. Me after that one. Derner. No, actually, it has gone Derner. It's gone A.S. Russell, Radigar, Kastner, and Urasok. The point scorers. Everyone else doesn't score any points for that one through there. So that's going to be the end of this race. And we've got Michael and Bubo up through the back at the back of the board. All right, so we've got a lot of finishes. So winner, Jack Timberlake. So well done, Jack. View final results. So the point systems at the moment are actually, where is it? Actually, I hope it's got the that's the race results. Oh, here we go. Then we go to ChatTactic. So this is your point system. So you've got 10, then 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So Urasok was one of the ones that did miss out. Sorry, it's only the first 9 that do get any sort of points. So Jack Timberlake out in front, 2 points ahead of Sithel, then Mike 1 point below, and then so on and so forth down through the leaders board. All right, next map. So this is now Procedural Raceway. This could be interesting. Right, so we've got to start the race, have a look and see what's going to happen here. Not sure how this is procedural, but anyway, it's good if it is. Lucia, first one through. A little way ahead of the others. Now this could be interesting here. Is it going to throw you? Well, yes, it is going to throw you up. There you go. See you later, Lucia. Oh, look, they're all going. They're all going up. Tenru, Voodoo Dog, Castanar, ZXM. The first one coming through now is Russell Goff. So we've lost a few. Mike's still up there in the danger area. Straight through is Russell with Schweinhellig, Jemison, and then we've got Max coming back in the other side. And who's going to get thrown off in here? Surely someone will. Surely someone will. Just have a quick look at it. Yeah, there we go. There's me. One person. Only one. Everyone else is making... No, there goes CB as well. And Derner. Over you go. There goes Antonio. Joining the others. Joining the fun. Joining the party. I'll just look at the leaders board. They're straight through. So it's still Russell and Jennison this time. Jemison coming back through. Whoa, explosions. Russell's gone and Jemison's gone. So now it's Jemison in the lead. It's a cool map, actually. Really cool. So we've got a 3 in the front there. So Jemison, no, it keeps on changing. No, it's still Jemison all the way through at this stage. Now, will this cause any problems? Could be another explosion. No. So in this case, we've got Jace and Shell Helling coming back in through here to get to the final loop down to see who actually gets the win. Let's have a look and see. Who's going to do it? It's Jace just ahead. Jace just ahead of Scheinhellig. No, Scheinhellig's first one through. Jace, then Steve, then Joshua, Jack, Dumison, Max, Broccoli, Elvenkind, and then Bubo misses out on the points, followed by everyone else. Great race, guys. Great race. Yeah, it's sort of, Lucy was saying it's so funny when the marbles are shot into the sky. I really like it, actually. It's pretty cool. So anyway, that's the, this is, and Mark's just bringing up the rear. There comes the end of the map up through that one. So Scheinhellig is the winner of that one. So well done, Scheinhellig. Press escape. We'll view the final results in through here again as well. So if we go back to the ChatTactic Grand Prix, that's the actual race results with the points coming through. So 10 down to 1, and then we have the Grand Prix points. We now have Jack out, and he actually got another 5 there, so he's now 15 points. We've got a 10 with Dumison, we've got a 10 with Scheinhellig, Jace is 8, Sithel 8, then we've got the 7s, etc. down through there. So at the moment, Jack is a little way ahead of the others, so that's interesting. It's going to be, you don't need very many points to win, actually. You just need to get more than the actual win, and so Jack is going to be, he's a long way out. Like the extra 5 is actually worth an awful lot. So let's continue on. We'll go to the next map. So we've got 2 more maps. We've got On Thin Ice. Here we go. Here we go. So we'll start the race. Now the first one out is Voxter Jack again. Wow. If Jack ends up in the top 10, he's going to be extremely difficult to beat. So here he comes again. We've got Urasok. We've got Jack out in front this time. Voxter. Scheinhellig is again. If Scheinhellig ends up in the top there as well, that's going to be a difficult one for anyone to bypass them as well. They're both there. Here comes Voxter, miles out in front of everyone now. Jack is coming next. I'm coming next. Scheinhellig coming third. Just move these through. It's going to be a bit of action here. This will be if anyone gets caught in this top bit. No, everyone's actually dropped down to the bottom area. Well, that makes it a bit easier. They miss all that stuff. Voxter and Jack. So no one's fallen off yet. Comes Tenru, Mike Gillespie, Max, the Monterey, Derner. So we'll just let them come through. No one's been able to get that little... Oh, here we go. No, still Voxter, Tenru and Jack are the ones in the final little loop. Who's going to be the first one out? Who's going to be the first one out? Jack! Wow, that's 2 wins. Urasok, Scheinhellig came third. It's not over, guys. It's not over. You can still win, I think. Although it's going to be very hard now. Very hard with Jack actually winning that one as well. That's 2 wins. So that puts him at 25 points. That's a monstrously good run. That's a big run. We should have a rogues gallery of who scores the most over, like when we run these things. But I'll forget to do it, so we won't do it. Okay, so we're just waiting for these stragglers. So Sithel, CB, and Voodoo Dog. Come on, guys. Stop mucking around. Stop playing in the snow and just get through there. No, he's going to get caught. He's going to be destroyed before he gets a chance. Oh, is he going to make it? He missed made it. Okay, just finished. I should have a point if you finish, shouldn't I, really? I should have just 1 point for finishing the race. So, yeah, but I might redo that one for next week or something if I remember. So, escape. Well done again, Jack. So, you see the final results. So, another win. We can have a look at the ChatTactic standings since we're here. So, plus 10. Shine Helig with another 7. So, there's 17. You've got 25 there, I think. Let's have a look at the Grand Prix results. Yeah, 25. 2 wins already. And 17 there for Shine Helig. 10 points now for Jace. I'm on 10 as well now with 2 5s. Dumerson with a win back in there as well with another 10 points and then a few 8s. But Jack be? Yeah, Jack can be caught by Shine Helig in this last race. It's the only one that can get there. No one else can actually get there. So Shine Helig has got an outside chance, but you need to get into the top 2. If you can get to second, you'll equal. You have to win this one, Shine Helig, to actually be able to then take the points. But Jack has to finish outside of the top 9 for Shine Helig to actually have a chance. Okay, next map. The laboratory. We haven't seen who's going to come last yet. There'll be a few of you down the bottom there. Here we go. So start the race. Now, I don't know if anyone will... maybe there'll be some to fall off. I don't know. There's a lot to do here. Okay, the first one's through. Broccolino. Tenru. It looks like at this stage, it is looking like Jack is now the winner. Because unless Shine Helig could get down there quickly, it's just not going to happen. So Elvenkin, Michael Druss... But you're playing for points as well. You're playing for the who gets there. So let's have a look and see what actually happens through these. These won't knock them off. It's just going to slow everyone down. This will. No, it won't. That's just going to sort them out as well. Yeah, so that shouldn't... Oh, there we go. Actually, Renegar did drop off. Maybe in here. If they get caught up in there somehow. Yeah, Shine Helig is coming way at the back through here. Where's Jack? See, Jack's in the... Jack's up in here somewhere, I thought. I thought I saw his name. Well, Blackpool almost snuck ahead of everything. Not quite. Maybe Shine Helig could actually scoot out of here because somebody jumped out. Oh, CB straight through and just bounced in there ahead of all the others. Wow! So CB has come in. That's now secured, and Broccolino straight through. Jace. The only chance for Shine Helig is to win. Is to get somehow. Scoot past everyone and get through here before the next one drops. Okay, Lucia, Dumerson, Steve Toyne, Michael. Yeah, this one at the back there, that is throwing some players out. Yeah, so some of them are one of them bounced right over the top. There goes Bubicus. And there's our top 10 anyway. The top 10 has now been, there's Jack as well, so Jack didn't get a place that one. But Shine Helig, a terrible performance from that last race. Had everything to play for. Doing better than me though. And Derner's going to be killed along with me. Yep, Jamison and Castanar didn't quite make it. Okay, so there we go. So congratulations CB on that final one. That was cool. Just see the final results. So the results for that one were, there's the points allocation, and here we go. We'll just have a look at the final. Actually, what we can do is we can finish the Grand Prix and just have the leaders board, because we don't know who's come third yet, or even second, to be honest. could be still, because they'll still could have a second place. I'm not sure. All right, so who is going to come third? So the third place is Dummerson with that win from round 2, I think it was. So Dummerson back in through there. Then Shine Helig, there we go, and of course Jack Timberlake is the eventual winner, who did very, very well there. And if I just press escape, we can then see the actual points. So wow, actually Dummerson, you came right back up. Wow. That's actually really cool. So equal second in this case. I didn't think that anyone would get close to the top 2, to be honest. So that was good. But Jack is miles out in front. Like, that's a big number. So Jack Timberlake, you could have got bragging rights there. 25 points in the Grand Prix is a monstrously high result. I might tweak the scores a bit as well, actually. So we end up with a few more points for first, and maybe 1 point for finishes, and then if you don't finish, you end up with 0, something like that. So Max Rubbo saying a solid 19th here. We can have a look down the bottom there. So we had a few on zeros. So Jamison, Voxter, Russell Goff, the Monterey, Sean, Blackpool, ZXM, Antonio, Voodoo Dog, Bubicus, and Bubo. And all that effort to get into the actual race, Bubicus, and you get a 0. That's not good. That's not good at all. That's not cool. It's not cool to sort of put everyone out like that just get in the race and then actually perform that well or that poorly. Anyway, guys, that was enjoyable. And as I say, 25 points, impressive run. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back again next week. I'll be doing other live streams both on YouTube and also on Twitch during the week. And I'll be putting up other... I will be trying to record a one-session playthrough, a few of them actually, as different factions, just so we can sort of for Dominions, because I think that's it's a way for people to get used to playing the game very, very quickly without actually being too onerous. All right, so anyway, I'll catch you guys next time, and